Hello and welcome into our latest live broadcast. It's the 18th of February, 2022. I'm Kerry Holzman.
I'm Mitch Morrison.
And today we have a very special show lined up for you as we complete the big beast build.
All right.
Yeah, this thing has been a beast, let me tell you, and a major financial investment. We've got around $10,000 into it. It's two computers, basically. We've got a Mini-ITX and a regular ATX computer. 64 gigs of RAM in one, and 128 gigs of RAM in the other, or 256, I can't remember anymore. A lot of RAM. 8 gig NVMe, 8 terabyte NVMe drive in the big rig, and then 2 terabytes, I believe, on the smaller one. And then, of course, the...
and only 19 fans, just kidding.
Yeah, well, you're not far off. And, we, got to put the cherry on top.
I like it. I'm quite
That's about $3,000 what you're holding in your hand. Well, there's nothing in it. I've got the card removed. Okay. But we're going to put the card in, and we've got to hook up the RGB on the fans, and then we will have a special guest come by to assist us with this beast of a build. How is everybody today on this wonderful Friday? It occurs to me I did not turn the studio lights on.
Oh, yes.
Let me take care of some business here.
I need Chad to see my nice pool room pallor, since I don't get out in the sun much.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Right,
quite the night owl. So
let's switch this around a little bit here.
Well, Chad, I will tell you, I feel infinitely better than last Friday. Not that I thought I was dying, but yeah, it was little bad, but tons of vitamins and vitamins, and I always get a tight 12 hours sleep.
Tight 12
hours. I'm in the UAW. You ain't working, so I'm feeling good. Voice is coming back, and yeah, is it pronounced February? Brew, B-R-E-W, February, or most people just it's February. February, yeah.
February,
yeah.
Hello, everybody in the chat. Hey, there's a 50-pound contribution from our friend Peter Laycock joining us from Bonnie, Scotland, as he likes to say.
What's the temp? I'm curious.
Let's see. Let's scroll through the chat here real quick, and a quick hello to everybody joining us early here. Peter says, good evening, Kerry and Mitch, and everyone in the chat from Edinburgh, Bonnie, Scotland, where the temperature is 38 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 3 degrees Celsius. That's a little brisk.
Yeah.
I've heard it rains 190 days out of the year in Scotland. Not saying it's true, it's just what I heard.
Kind of like living in Seattle.
Maybe worse.
Without the homeless. Okay.
So Vernon Mahorny and Bob Connors, Jose Donito, Patrick Rusaw, Terry Zanders, Craig Lilly, Jim, KJ3N, Troll McTrollington. Welcome in, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Robert Jones, Proud Patriot. Luke Greeny is in there. Mike Perodin, Jeff Ryman, John Powell, Awakened, Blackwatch. Bill Netherland joins us also from England. James Prezi, Carlos Hernandez, Ada Rivera. There's a $3 contribution from Planet Cryos. Hey, thank you, Planet Cryos. Good to see you. And Michael Mancini says hello. There's Madi Yoel in the chat room. Welcome in, Madi. Dr. Bill and Arturo Versenin, Frank M. and Danny Hartland, and Jens Carlson and Jonathan, Frank M. and Frank Jimmy, Matthew Barnes, Mats Olaf Rickardson. There's my friend Ron Hillier and Captain Blinsky and Paul O'Brien. Wow, we got a full house today. This is wonderful. There's Rick Lakes and Thomas Backenstow. Welcome in, guys. Peter Meyer and Elko Stoffels. Colin Hunt contributes to 20 pounds. Thank you, Colin. A shout out, of course, to Colin. I was just thinking of him, Colin Hilton, who has been a friend of the channel for a number of years. And if he's out there watching, we miss you in the chat room. Hope you're doing well. Robert Katchna contributes €5, and he says, hello, Kerry and Mitch.
And I see the man
Is he in there?
The man, Michael Dane. So,
Boy, we got a full house in here today. I was trying to shout everybody out, but there's more people than I can name. 55 Stengdu, Catherine Anna Hauserman, Sarge Tech, GM, Scott Halliman, and Gary Boyd, Ken Stout live, Stan Aristoff, John Peck. Look at all the friendly faces. I see Michael Dane. There he is. Linda Hudson. You guys ready for today's show?
I got to warm up if we're going to lift the big beast here.
How do you feel about that? I'm
No,
kind of nervous about asking you.
No, it's been what, 8 weeks
Well, but it's a hell of a way to test.
with the knees.
Yeah. How many people do we have watching? 360? That's a good start. I'll take that. And we have a good solid connection. Everything's looking good.
And it's quite comfortable out in Phoenix, Arizona today. What do you think? 64 maybe?
No, I think it's like 73 maybe.
What have you been smoking? Don't answer that. Okay.
What have I not been
Been
smoking?
smoking. All right.
It says the temperature is 67.
Close. Oh.
So, but
very
it's
nice.
the temperature's going up.
Yeah.
It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, so on the summary of the laptop that I upgraded, you see that? Mm-hmm. If you guys missed it, it's a 6-hour stream. It's basically a classroom, right? If you remember when you were going to school, whether it was from the ages of about 5 until about 18, we're in school.
Reform school. Okay.
In some cases, and school would be 5 days a week, and it would be about, 6 or 7 hours a day. This was like spending 1 day in school out of a 5-day week, and some people were complaining that that was too long. Well, as a kid, I can tell you, I think most kids agree it's too long, but it's the cost of education. And I'm very, very proud of that show and how it went down to explain the reasonings and the logic behind the diagnostic and to show what happens when it goes wrong. Too many YouTube channels only show what happens when it goes right. So, and when they do fix it, you don't know how or why what they did fixed it. So in this case, with the Dell XPS laptop, we ran into a number of issues. One was that BitLocker was turned on by default, which may be a new standard from this point forward on pre-built machines due to Windows 11 requirements. Maybe. I don't know yet. Also, RAID mode was turned on, as it normally is on any Dell laptop or desktop. I'm told this is for the Intel Rapid Storage Technology driver, but the Intel RST driver has a lot of conflicts with other software, like, for example, the Samsung Magician won't work. Anything that needs to see your drive, like Crystal Disk Info, won't work. The rapid storage technology is good if you're using RAID to maintain the RAID and monitor it and control it. It's also good if you're using Intel Optane. Other than that, I don't see any reason to use it, so we had to switch that to AHCI. And then I found out that the Linux-based Acronis is basically useless on a modern computer. While it works fine cloning older machines, it created another diagnostic that I wasn't quite sure if it was a compatibility issue with the NVMe drive I was upgrading to or if something else was going on. And it turned out that the Linux-based Acronis Rescue Disk is it's no longer a viable solution for cloning a modern computer. And Acronis did warn me of that about 2 years earlier. They said they were putting more research and development into the Windows PE-based version of the Acronis Rescue Disk. So if you look on my counter, I always have 2 Acronis Rescue Disks. I've got the SanDisk one right here. This says Acronis on the back. And then I've got the cheap flash drive very similar to the one I use for BIOS flashing. It's a little 2 gig flash drive. And this is the Linux-based one. And by habit, I've always used the Linux-based one. But like I said, Acronis warned me 2 years ago. They said, we highly recommend use the Windows PE one. This Windows PE one used to be really, really slow and clunky 4 years ago. So the Linux one booted faster and worked faster. Now the opposite is true. The Windows PE one is actually faster, and the cloning success rate is much better with the Windows PE version. And I learned that I verified it, and in fact I even demonstrated it on the original Threadripper build when I met you. where we were setting up RAID, and I could not install the RAID drivers on the Linux when I had to use the Windows PE version. And the fact is, I'm not doing much of that kind of work anymore, so I'm a little rusty. And so 6 hours later, the job was complete, but it took almost 2 hours just to get the case cracked open. It was really difficult to open, and then just kind of learning what the obstacles were, right? So the funny thing is I have this little dock over here. There's the irony of the whole thing.
Well, and it's interesting that when I was watching some of it live, some people in chat were going, well, you just bricked a $2,000 brand new laptop, and you're like, now wait a minute here.
Yeah.
I'm not, there's nothing that I'm doing that's harming.
People give up too easily.
Yeah, this laptop.
We're living in a world where the minute any obstacle appears,
they throw in the sponge.
They go home. They're like, I'm taking my ball and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
The people give up way too easily these days. Nothing I did damaged the laptop. And I explained that. I said, just because it's not working doesn't mean I broke it. Smoke didn't come out.
Yeah.
There weren't pieces on the counter that broke off. It was just a configuration issue, and I was going to figure it out. But I have this drive dock, and you can put 2 NVMe drives in it, push a button, and clone them. But it takes a long time. If I just copy the data, there wasn't much data on there. The clone took minutes. With this, the clone would have taken like an hour, because it's going to copy every sector.
Okay.
But it turns out, more than likely, if I would have done this, the clone would have worked, as opposed to Acronis. I cloned to a different NVMe drive, and I tried different things using the same Linux Acronis rescue disk, which just wasn't going to work. So all those things I tried, the common denominator that was the cause of the problem was the Linux rescue disk from Acronis, which I wouldn't have experienced if I used a hardware cloner. Right. So if I would have used this, it would have taken longer for the clone to complete, but the clone would have, I'm sure it would have worked. I still would have had to have turned BitLocker off. I still would have to turn off RAID. Well, that's not necessarily true. This will clone. I just don't know if the clone would be successful without experimenting with that. So I would rather teach the right way that works, the time it takes to experiment with alternatives. That's just based on laziness, because I don't want to turn off BitLocker, or I don't want to turn off, RAID mode. And I could load a RAID driver for that, but it makes future maintenance more complex, because you'll always need to have that from that point in the future for any work that you need to do regarding the storage. So in any event, when we turned off RAID and went to AHCI, the system blue screen because it didn't have the right controller driver. Windows didn't. And so that's an easy solution. You just boot into safe mode. And I was having trouble getting it into safe mode, and it kept blue screening because I wasn't hitting the button in time, F8. And then after it blue screens 3 times, Windows went into an automatic repair mode, which I forgot Windows 10 does, which solved the problem anyway.
Yeah.
So I think there was a lot of good, valuable lessons there. But if you don't watch the full 6-hour video, then by me summarizing it, you know all the answers, but you don't know how to show your work. Like if 5 goes into 24 times, then that's a piece of information. But when I ask you to show me how does 5 go into 24 times, and you don't know basic division, you just go because that's what the calculator says. I'm not interested in making robots out of people, turning them into bureaucrats. What I want is people to independently think and to be able to understand the reasoning why certain things happen, so that you understand when it's not working, what the cause of it is. In other words, how did I know to go into the BIOS immediately? How did I know to try another NVMe drive? How did I know? Do you think I was just making that up? It all goes through a process of diagnostics that I'm trying to teach, and I'm teaching it for free. And despite that, I still get comments going, well, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I never worked on that laptop ever in my life. It would be like stepping up to the plate to swing a bat, and you've never swung a bat before. You know what's involved. You know there's a ball coming, and you know you want to swing and make contact with it. But it's as though if you take a swing and you miss the ball, they're like, well, this guy doesn't know. It's like, no, that's a first attempt. The important thing is that you don't give up and don't be discouraged by the intolerance of others who demand perfection when they themselves, the ones doing the complaining, have accomplished nothing and are nobodies. Don't let anybody ever tell you how to do something when the person telling you has never done anything themselves. Don't listen to diet advice from somebody fatter than you. Don't take gambling advice from a homeless person. These are just basic life rules that should be obvious. And furthermore, if you're not paying for something, don't complain about it. Walk away from it. It's so frustrating to me that people will take what's free, even though they weren't asked to. They will presumably entitle themselves to take something at somebody else's expense and then have the nerve to complain about it or insult the person who created it when they've not given anything. All they do is take and complain. So with those viewers say, oh, well, I'm leaving, I'm unsubscribing. I'm like, good, go. Geez, I thought you'd never leave. I don't want people like that around. You're not doing me a favor subscribing. You're doing me a favor leaving. Mitch, I hear a knock at the door.
Yeah, quite a pound there. Is that Amazon or?
Is it open? Is there a fire? Open! What are you selling?
Hi!
Come on in. Watch out. This place is not really this is more of a work area than it is a home.
Yeah, all right.
So as you can see, I cleaned it up for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've stalled long enough.
Who's this?
Our special guest has arrived.
Mitch!
Good to see you.
I don't have a microphone, so I'm talking loud.
You want to appear?
Here.
Sure.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Doug Betts. Hi, Doug.
Hi.
How was your drive?
Oh,
Sorry, I
I am
asked.
B. I am B.
Phoenix is a rough place to drive in, isn't it?
Well, my
I'll stand here so I look about the same size as you two.
I don't know, can they hear me?
Yeah.
My GPS, when I was getting close to the area where I know there's got to be a turn coming up, and I haven't heard anything lately. So I look over, and sure enough, the phone on the graphic is showing a turn, and it says, keep going straight, 300 feet. Well, then what? Keep going straight, 100 feet. Then what? And I figured, well, that's probably right.
Your GPS doesn't show like the next turn or anything at the top of the screen?
Yeah, it does usually.
And it
but
didn't?
It didn't for that one.
Wow.
And it did finally.
What were you using like a Waze or were you using a regular GPS?
It's whatever Siri gives me.
It's an Apple.
I'm still.
Well,
old.
that's your problem.
I'm still old school. I use a Garmin. I still like a Garmin.
I Garmin before. We had these things that the other thing that happened was the Bluetooth speaker I had lost its connection, and I didn't realize it.
Oh.
So as it was taking me through a few turns that I didn't have any audio, I had to keep looking there. So now I'm reverting to my private pilot training, flying by instruments.
You're a pilot?
Instrument scan. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you? Well, hold on a minute. What do you fly? Just like
Well,
single
actually,
engine,
I don't fly
or
anymore. I gave that up a couple of years ago.
what were you flying?
Cessna 172.
So single engine.
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
I studied to be a pilot, but I never finished it.
And I could have said, in response to what I fly, I could say I fly kids. But that's what my license plate says. Kids fly. Well, we take kids for free airplane flights.
Oh, like Make-A-Wish stuff, or just?
It's called Young Eagles with the Experimental Aircraft Association.
And is it to encourage kids to have an interest in?
Pursue.
Okay, very cool.
Aviation.
Wow.
Yeah. And we actually have one of our people in the aviation community in Fresno has now got a school district setting up a flight training capability at our local airport. It's just down the street from my home.
I hope you carry plenty of airsick bags because kids, you never know if you've never been in a plane. It's different than a car. They think it's just going to be. Now, wait a minute. It's a lot different sensation up there in the air, and a little kind of get a little choppy, a little bumpy, and they're getting green behind the gills.
So that was what'd you say, Cessna?
Cessna 172.
172.
Yeah, and then also.
How many people can fit on a
Cessna?
Cessna?
My cell phone battery. Upper right corner.
Oh,
in the red. In the red. Because I also need a new cell phone because.
Well, if Doug, if you come over here, if I show you.
I'm gonna plug it in somewhere.
Well, you don't have to plug it in somewhere. Do you see this over here? Check this out. You'll like this.
Good chat. Now I don't have to lift the big beast build.
And you need a lightning
Because I'll
cable.
let those two coconuts do it. So,
Look at that. You ever seen one of those?
Huh?
Have you ever
gotta
seen one of
protect
these?
those ribs.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh,
It's feeling good.
Wait, interruption, but you're a guest. We'll let you. We'll let you plug it in. There's a plug right
It'll be
there.
on silent, and also my.
You're good. No worries.
All right.
Welcome. It's good to see you. How long was the drive? You're from what? Fresno, right?
Fresno, yeah.
It's about 14 hours.
When I started out yesterday morning, I woke up about 4 a.m. I figured I might as well start getting things.
It's
I didn't
exciting.
leave till 9:30,
Yeah.
and then I had put in your address to give me directions, but I was only going to go to basically around where my brother was camping. So I wound up taking a hotel in Blythe.
Okay, right on the
But
border
I got-
of California and Arizona.
I got there about 8:30. So 9:30 to 8:30, that's 11 hours.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, but from Fresno to you, to this address, which is a couple hours more, yesterday morning the GPS told me it was a bit over 7 hours. That didn't happen.
No, because Blythe is only 2 hours away from here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, all right.
I'm glad I started early.
Can I get you something to drink? You want
Yeah.
water or soda or? I'll tell you what. You see that refrigerator right there?
Shot in a beer?
Yeah.
All right.
Help yourself
All right.
to anything you want there. Got lots of junk food on the counter. Just make yourself at home and take whatever you want.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. If you open the door, there's water in the door. There's Coke. There's
Yeah,
Gatorade.
I thought I was going to
There's-
try one of your Gatorade.
There's Gatorade down on the bottom shelf. Got plenty of that. Or there's a big Gatorade if you want a bigger one on the second shelf in the back. And there's also a lot of diet stuff
Are the
in there.
Gatorades all lemon lime?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sort of particular about.
Yeah, not much on that.
Flavor.
I have water in the door.
I was going to do one.
I have Coke. Other door.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, next one over. There you go.
There.
How about you, Mitch?
Oh,
You want
man,
anything?
This is my water.
Ah.
It doesn't matter. Fiji's the best. There's no better water than Fiji. They should really sponsor.
Well, on the way home, why don't you do Phoenix to Vegas, overnight in Vegas, and Vegas to Fresno? Little action there, you know, and lost wages, Nevada.
No, thank you.
Because from here, I can make it in about, what do we make, about 5 hours? I know Carrie makes it in like 4.5.
4.5
Yeah,
hours. From here to the MGM Grand is 4.5
yeah,
hours. From
so, but for me,
AJ Haverkamp says it's 12 hours in the car. We'll get him from Amsterdam to Warsaw, Poland.
Ah, Doug left his Blue Yeti. Yeah. Let's see, what else I see there?
well, now I don't have to lift the big beast build because I'll let you two coconuts do it.
You feel up to it?
You know, I got broken ribs,
Oh,
right? Or
okay.
I did have broken ribs, so.
I left Fresno yesterday,
Yeah.
and I got on the freeway. I took my thumb and forefinger, reached over to my right hand, and pinch.
And
This is really happening. And I did that again from Blythe to here this morning.
So you're not in the
This
matrix.
has been
so you're looking forward to this. Is that what you're saying?
You're not in the matrix. Okay.
So much.
Yeah.
Well, while you were in the car driving, I was. And do be careful if you walk out front here. I got a lot of cables. This is a significant portion of the money.
This is a
That's
graphics
about
card.
$3,000 worth of graphics
Yeah,
card right there.
yeah. Which was convenient that the model number reminds me of that. 3090.
All right.
Right.
So
Cameras.
I see some folks saying hello to you, Doug, here in the chat. Let me just sneak in between you guys, and I'll acknowledge what we've been missing here in the chat room before we get to work, which is, what have I missed? Let me go all the way to the top. Oh, I missed a lot. I got some catching up to do. Let's see what we have here. Tom K contributes $1. Gary Boyd with $10. Says 6 degrees Celsius where he is at in Canada. It's balmy. There's Mario L contributing $20. He says, hello, you two and chat. That was before you showed up, I guess.
Yeah.
Or he wasn't talking to me. It's always possible. And let's see, what do we have here? Ian Gooch contributes £10. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Marty. And Tom. Where1 contributes €2. Says, happy Friday. Here's a little something. Thank you, Where1. Xrod666 contributes $10. Says, well, hi, Doug.
Oh, hi.
And Mike Corden contributes $10. That seems like a new name in here.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's a moderator.
Okay.
Okay, well, welcome in. Sorry, I don't remember you. There's Michael Dane, the man.
The man, yeah.
Is everybody hearing Doug okay?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, as you
From
can
this
see,
mic, testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, come
Yeah.
over there.
as you can see over here, I've got this on a piano dolly.
Ay, caramba.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
And then these are the, check this out. I was trying to figure out how to get the RGB to work. Look at the size of these.
Oh,
Oh, I'm on the wrong feed. I'm on the delayed feed. I got to go to the live feed. Look at the size of that. These are $55 a piece. And we have 13 fans, and this only covers, I think, 6 of them.
oh, okay. So we're using 2 of them.
Yeah, and then they'll have to chain together into something else to get it all going. In theory, that should be what we need.
All right.
Well,
Andy Kane says, hi, Doug. Susan Harris says, hi, Doug. Nice to meet you. Oh, I missed Tony Wallow. Tony Wallow's in there. And Jose Donito says, hello, Doug. What a wonderful surprise. Up to the big best build standards.
Big Beast build
Big beef
standards?
hills. Yeah.
Everybody says they're hearing you okay. Tony Wallow contributes $1.99. Hey, thank you, Tony. Hybrid Panda says there's 1 degree Celsius here in North Wales in the UK.
Whew.
You ever heard people from Wales talk?
I vaguely have an idea in my mind what the accent
It's
would be.
very sing-songy. I love to listen to people talk in a Welsh accent. They could read the ingredients of a package of chips to me and I'd just be riveted. They say every Welsh person can sing.
I enjoy different accents a lot, but sometimes struggle. What did they say? My mother's father was Irish and very strong brogue.
Mm.
But he was out of my life when I don't know, 6 years old or so.
Yeah, something about that Welsh accent just tickles my brain. Tom K contributes $1. Thank you again, Tom. Mortant says, I sent an Amazon gift card. Thank you, Mortant. We just sent Mortant a computer. He got one of the 8-year builds because he's been such a generous contributor here. I've been rewarding them, and he just got it yesterday, I think.
Nice.
Lou Greenia says, Carrie and Mitch, you two need some cool weather. It's 5 degrees Fahrenheit with a fresh layer of 2 inches of ice snow in Vermont. Really? Vermont's cold? Nobody told me that.
No thanks.
Jim KJ3N says, hello, Doug. Just waiting for Windows 11 to take over the streaming computer. Well, they had a big update to Windows 11, and they're disabling, I guess they're disabling the ability to create an offline account on Windows 11 Pro, requiring an internet connection and a Microsoft account. They're allowing you to pin items to the taskbar,
On
which
Pro.
yeah, it's coming. Microsoft announced it. They weren't allowing items to be pinned on the taskbar. Now they are. So Windows 11 continues to evolve and develop. There's been a number of major updates in the internal release to Windows 11. And what do they call that? Not the internal release, but the internal testing release that everybody can get.
Yeah, the insiders.
The insider thing. So anyway,
Yeah.
there's still, Windows 11 has a long way to go. There's an option they've added about subscriptions. Some of this stuff may not be permanent. I want people to understand that Microsoft sometimes rolls back, well, take the taskbar. Not being able to pin items to the taskbar is the way Windows 11 is as we speak. But when this major update comes out, they're reversing that and allowing you to do it again. So we'll see where it goes. Right now, forcing the Microsoft account.
Yeah, there's Catherine giving us the developers and beta. It's
Yes.
Different.
Yeah,
names
that's
of the
what.
inside program, and I keep zoning out on those two.
So there'll be Windows 11 I think is going to continue to evolve and become something useful, but still now I think it's still too early. But it just goes to show you what I'm saying is true in that all of the changes that are coming, and there'll be more changes after that. And Microsoft has not committed to any specific release date for updates. Like with Windows 10, they were doing twice a year, then they said once a year. Now they're reverting back to how they used to be and just doing it whenever they feel like it.
Yeah, there's been some of that going on all along. Last I heard is I thought they were going to continue with one major update per year.
On Windows 10.
I don't count on it at all. Well, my understanding was Windows 11 too, but I didn't study that.
Yeah, well, I mean, and
Yeah,
that's
I
the
just
word.
heard
It could be wrong.
And I just walk away with it.
Yeah, me too.
I don't really care too much.
I'm just
the way it goes.
providing
Now,
the information.
I am going to probably put Windows 11 on the second motherboard in there, just so that I have time under my belt with it.
Sure.
Not that I have a need for it, but I want to have time under my belt for it.
I completely understand, and the fact that you've got two motherboards makes that real easy.
Yeah.
And they both have Windows 10, so just an upgrade to Windows 11, you don't have to start over. Patrick Rusak contributes $5. He goes, thanks for your recommendation. My Samsung S22 Plus will be here Monday. Keep up the great work. Well, I'm not sure I'm recommending the S22. I said I ordered one. I never have ever ordered a brand new cell phone that hasn't been vetted out by the public, like the Samsung Galaxy Notes that were exploding. I'll let those people go first. Remember that?
Yeah.
But my S10 is getting a little long in the tooth, and I thought, I'll pull the trigger on it. Worst case scenarios, I'll roll back to the S10. It's just my battery life isn't as good. And when I was talking about it, apparently they thought I was recommending it. I'm not recommending it. I'm just telling you I'm looking forward to playing with it. Normally, I don't like to go first. I like to be next. I don't want to be last. I don't want to be first. But in this case, I will be first. I'm making an exception.
And the phone's only about that big? Yeah.
No, I got the same size.
Okay.
They do 3 different sizes. Planet Cryos with another $2, and thank you, Planet Cryos. Tim Too Much says, I have the S21 Ultra and love it. Yeah, I wasn't impressed with the S21. Not compared to the S10. Just not enough there to justify it. Nicer looking screen. Frank Jimmy says, I had the Samsung Note 7. Boom. Captain Blinsky says, Motorola phones all the way. Does Motorola still make phones?
I think so.
Awaken said Windows 11 seems to be kind of slow compared to Windows 10. Yes, Windows 11 did have a known issue with some solid-state drives, and Microsoft released an update that should resolve that. These are all the things all the Windows 11 evangelists or fanboys aren't talking about. This is very common, where people only see the world through rose-colored glasses, and anything that challenges their view, they just don't talk about that. But if you search on Windows 11 news, you can see what the truth is. One of my favorite sites for just keeping up with the latest in technology news is bleepingcomputer.com. You ever? Yeah, and that's a good site to visit and hit the news. There's enough news every day. It gets a little overwhelming sometimes, but tends to be a good, reliable source of information. All right, we ready to get the big beast build up here?
Yeah, are we supposed to do some warm-up exercises?
Well, that's up to you. I was born ready, so.
Bend with the knees.
Yes, that's a very important piece of advice. It's heavy. The good news is, well, let me show you something, Doug, if you come over here for a second. I want you to just feel the side panel. Just lift that by itself.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so the fact that we have those two off, that's about 30 pounds we've removed. So when this is done, we definitely don't want to put the side panels on it until we put it back on the ground, or we'll be adding an additional 30 pounds approximately to the weight. Right now, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
It's just awkward.
Yeah.
So we'll roll it as close as we can, and then usually what Mitch and I do is one person picks it up from the front, or we're going to lift it over this pile of junk. In fact, I'll move this stuff so we don't knock it over. and we're gonna lift it up here, and we're gonna just set it just like it is there. Here, once it's up here, we'll rotate it around as we need.
Okay.
My Lazy Susan's not big enough for it, so you know, I'll take the damage to the countertop. It should be fine though. Are you ready?
You just got to find a place to grip it.
Yeah. So bear in mind these are the doors, so you don't want to hold on to the doors.
All right.
I would probably somewhere on the
That feels
bottom,
good right there.
and then you want to grab it up at the top, or you want to stay on the bottom.
I'm gonna stay both hands on the bottom.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
With the knees, here we go. Oh, there goes my microphone.
Okay.
Oh yeah. What do you feel? How does that feel? Weight-wise, how bad was it?
Heavy. What were we expecting?
I thought you were going to say it wasn't that bad.
Well, no, it wasn't actually that bad. It was with two people.
Have you lifted
Yeah.
a computer that heavy before in your career?
I have lifted things this heavy.
Yes.
Not a computer.
Yeah, I've lifted furniture.
Yeah, furniture. Because I just had some carpet cleaning in my house, so I took a great big motorized massaging recliner and put it up.
Oh,
on top
those
of
are
my
heavy.
bed. Yeah, they're heavy.
Holy
But
cow.
of course, I wasn't lifting the whole thing into the air. I was using leverage and putting on the bed and walking it up. But
I was going to say, you lift, bro?
no.
So what do you think? Look at these components.
Well, that's a motherboard. That's a liquid cooler.
Look at all that RAM in there.
Yeah. That's just when you asked me if I wanted all that RAM, I just, you know what? Yeah, let's just go for it.
Then I'm like, you sure you want the 8 terabyte NVMe?
And I said, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then, look
it's
at the...
really over the top, and then there's the microboard.
Yeah, and look at how the heatsink, it all just fits in there.
Holy. It
Let's go ahead and...
There was more space that could have been larger.
I guess we'll
Which
go
way do you want to turn?
We're going to bring it so everybody can see the front here.
So my side's going to come this way?
Exactly. There you go. Thank
Yeah.
you.
See, and this, you can lift up one side and get it on a corner and turn it.
Come around here. Let me show you a couple things you should know about it. As you can see, we've got a very large, like a 420 millimeter radiator. This is huge. This little lever right here lifts up. I think we have to unscrew it a little bit. And then it swings up like that.
All right.
And then this whole thing will then slide out,
Oh,
as will this.
okay.
Okay, so that little lever, as it swings down, that locks both of those.
Oh, I see it. It goes, it covers both of those gaps. And then that's got to be into a threaded hole there somewhere.
Yeah, it's a captive screw, so it doesn't come out. And then you
Wherever it is.
should be right about there. There it is. Don't mind me. Don't know what my difficulty is here. This is very simple. Sometimes the simplest things present the biggest challenges. Now, there are slots here if you wanted to add a graphics card, but I'm using onboard video on the Mini-ITX.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. And then that locks it, so you can't even move it.
All right.
So yeah, there's 2, 4, 6, 8 fans here, 2 fans in the back, 3 fans across the radiator. So the reasoning behind the 2 6-fan RGB controllers is that ultimately these RGB will be controlled by the controller for the water cooler.
Okay.
And then the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 still leaves us 2 extras that
that's
so
what
we're
the
not
other-
filling them up like you would think. And then they should all synchronize together and be controlled through the motherboard software on this ASUS board. This is a $750 motherboard, and it's very heavy. Just without anything on it, it's the heaviest motherboard I've ever lifted.
Yeah, I remember you saying, Mitch, lift this, and I'm like, jeez.
Yeah. And then you've got a number of power connectors here. This is a $400 power supply in here. It's a Seasonic, I think it's a 1300 watt. And you can see there's even additional power connector that I'm not hooking up here. And there are 2 fans underneath here, which gets in the way of installing the board because there's a screw back there. And I've seen this on some Threadripper boards too that are designed that way. So if you're ever taking it apart, just trying to give you a little heads up where this differs from most common builds. And as you can see for the front port header, they don't really give you much other than a power switch and it looks like a power LED. There's no hard drive LED. Sorry, that's just a power switch and a reset switch. There's no power LED or hard drive LED here, but I'm guessing that's because they expect the whole thing to light up when it's on, so power should be pretty obvious. Why there's no hard drive LED, it frustrates me, but so many manufacturers are skipping out on that, but adding unnecessary lights while taking away important ones. And then of course the mini board here, along the back there's the Mini-ITX power supply that's mounted back behind the main board. And it's a fully independent system. The 2 are not connected in any way, but your power switch to turn this on is in the back.
Okay.
So the power switch in the front, everything in the front for the main board, and then all you have is a power switch back here, nothing else. And then your I/O is over the power supply, you know, where it's resting on top of here. So I think it's a smart design. You have an empty hard drive cage here. You could load up with the storage, all the storage you could muster. All this is just your cable management. As you can see, we're barely using it. And then the doors in the back, they swing open so that all this cable management, you won't be fighting it to getting the panels on. This whole thing is recessed quite deep. And so all the cables, it's about that much room, are going to fit in there and in 2 little saloon style, saloon style, thank you, doors, close and magnetically attach. And then the glass panel is another door in front of those doors.
Now, is this surface up here slick enough that you can throw a slide of beer stein across it?
Will you let me know how that works?
Doors.
I'd be afraid of it spilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost a countertop, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It was a little longer. Boy, it would be cool if you could match that with something and have a long countertop out of it.
Ooh.
I better not give you any ideas. Now, this hasn't been turned on because, well, since the last time we broadcasted, because I can't get it up there by myself. So let's plug it in and see what updates we're missing and make sure everything still works. Here's your power and reset. You see it says ITX right here?
Yeah.
So that's your power and
okay.
reset for the mini board. That's the mini power supply, the small form factor power supply.
Yeah.
There's your Seasonic,
Right.
your I/O shield with Wi-Fi
Yeah.
on the mini board, and your I/O shield with Wi-Fi on your main board.
Right.
So you have double Wi-Fi. Are you getting excited now that it's in front of you?
You have no idea. You have no idea.
This is awesome.
As this has been coming up, it was one of those things, you know, like when you're a kid and the fair is 3 months away.
Christmas.
Christmas, yeah, anything like that. It's just never going to happen.
Oh, we do need a, I do need a video card. Well, this system we're using built-in video, this is a very high-end system. It does not have integrated graphics. And I've been using a cheap gigabyte board.
Yeah, graphics card that you had.
So I'm not going to put the new card in yet. I want to make sure we get everything updated first. In fact, I'm not even going to screw it down because we're just going to take it right out. But I like that this graphics card does not require power. This is like a 1650 or something.
Right.
We need a keyboard and a mouse. Would you do me the honor there? There's our dongle. We'll put that in here. What kind of car did you, is it big enough it's going to hold this?
Yeah, it's a Honda Pilot.
Good. Yeah.
I was joking around, clowning around about saying that, well, I could say I'm going to use a skateboard or piano dolly and just push it home or rent a U-Haul truck. But no, my car's fine.
Do me a favor and hit the power switch up here for me.
You didn't see the kickstart on the back here?
Oh, yeah, right.
yeah.
I could write it.
Okay, you ready? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and hit it.
Hit it.
And let me come around here. I'm going to grab the mouse so we can get an HDMI input of this. And we'll take camera 1 and we'll put us in a corner here. Like so. And look at how the audio ports have LEDs in them.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get some video out of it. And then come around here, Doug, and take a look at the how the RGB looks in person versus what you might have seen on the. You've got a diagnostic screen right here that tells us, while it's booting. See that?
Oh, yeah.
And these fans aren't plugged in. That's why they're not running. These obviously are. You can see what that RGB looks like.
Now, is this programmable the way yours is?
As far as
being able to do a custom image on it?
no, you can't do a custom image, but you can control the pattern of
Look at that
lights.
graphics card.
Oh, that's not good.
That's
What are you
not
looking at? Oh.
I might not have the
Seated?
cable all the way in.
Ah.
Kind of felt a little funky to me when I put it in there. Or it's damaged. Doesn't matter. It's coming out anyway.
Looks
There you
like
go.
it's-
Yeah,
Yeah, something's wrong.
something's wrong.
It's, the shoulder of the cable is
It's
hitting
right up.
against the frame
Yeah.
of the case.
See if it likes that. Doesn't like that at all. Something a little funky. Let me turn it off. That's usually the sign of a damaged graphics card. But that's not your card, so you don't have to worry.
Yeah.
No, don't sweat. We'll turn it back on just to give it one more chance to play well with others here.
So much unnecessarily pointless fluff.
Yeah, there's a lot
It's
of
gonna be fun.
a lot of fluff on this for sure. For sure, this is gluttony.
Yeah.
No, we still have a problem with that card. Michael Dane wants us to unplug it and reseat it. That's couldn't hurt. Make sure the power supply is off when you're switching out the graphics card. Well, I don't need to tell you, but for everybody watching. Doug, I think you have the same amount of experience as I do as a PC technician. About 30 years?
Was summer time, but not the same experience.
No,
I know
nobody's
you
got
didn't
the
mean
same
that.
experience.
But yeah,
But I'm just saying you're not a hobbyist.
yeah, that's true. The streaming computer I have now has RGB. It has one red light strip.
On the motherboard?
No,
Oh, in
just inside the case, stuck to
you
the case.
wild man.
No, I didn't build it. But
Oh, that's how it came.
That's how it came. That's all.
Yeah.
It is. But that's just because it has a plexiglass on the side with the image of my Cessna etched into it.
Oh, well, that's an emotional connection
Yeah.
there. I gotcha.
Yeah, I definitely have an emotional connection, and I'm keeping that computer.
So let me get this right. A pilot bought a Honda Pilot.
Oh, you bet.
I mean,
That is
yeah,
hilarious.
So that's kind of funny.
I considered
yeah.
the Navigator.
Okay,
But no,
yeah. No,
I
I
like the word
pilot, so.
That's
and
hilarious,
actually, no, even more so. I decided I would buy that car before I even found out that it was an SUV.
Okay. Just based on the name.
Based on the name. I think when I first knew the name Pilot, I think I was vaguely aware that it was a Honda,
Okay.
but did not know it was an SUV. But I knew I would get one of those someday.
This is cycling through a lot of checks before it boots up.
Nope.
Same thing, huh? Well, it looks like they're, I've been seeing some GPUs, and the reason why I'm not shipping with GPUs anymore is if they get banged around, something in them is breaking. Even though it's solid state, it's like the way EVGA is making these. I had this sitting over here, and I had knocked it, and it fell onto the floor, and it only fell, whatever it is, from the top of that motherboard box onto the tile, 6 inches. And I thought, well, that's probably fine. Apparently, I broke it from knocking it. I was stepping over it to turn the light on, and I think I did it twice, actually. But it's a cheap card, and I'm not worried about it. And it's under warranty, but that's news. That's new.
All right.
But anyway, apparently, video cards don't like being knocked around. You could slap a solid-state drive around all day long. It won't affect it. So I guess we're going to put the 3090 in there after all.
Well, that sounds good to me.
Now, if the 3090 comes up that way, I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
This was in the Thready's Revenge build, and it's got about 2-3 hours of use on it. And then once Thready's Revenge was done, it was
Look at that beast.
set across. This is a blower-style card.
Okay.
Feel the weight on that bad boy?
So it blows out through here? Is that?
Well, normally you have like if you look at this video card here,
That's heavy.
these are called axial fans.
Yeah.
This is called a blower style.
Oh, I see. It's the
So what happens is the axial style, they cool off based on the air in the case.
Okay.
The blower style, it's bringing air in and out. Instead of blowing the air straight down onto the card, it blows the air across the surface of the card and then out these big vents right here.
All right.
And then you've got a back plate here.
Yeah. So the thing that I was really focusing on is the different shape of the fins
Yeah,
on the fan.
because the air direction's moving towards the back instead of down.
Okay.
And if you had a case that
makes
had
sense.
really bad
That makes
airflow,
sense.
you'd want this style of card, and these are hard to get. Most cards manufactured are the axial fans.
Interesting.
All
Okay.
right, are you ready to?
Yeah.
And then we've got two 8-pin
power.
power connectors right here on the end. I like how they moved it to the end. Usually they're up in the front, they're unsightly. Why am I doing all the work when I have another tech here? That's what I want to know.
I'm too busy laughing. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, okay, Mitch.
he's
Yeah,
laughing.
I'll start.
He's laughing with
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
Doug. He's laughing with us.
Hi, Dr. Bill. Hi, Blackwatch. Hi, Frank. Hi, Michael Dane, Thomas Backenstow, Captain Anna Hauserman, Captain Blinsky, Dr. Bill Tim Too Much, Michael Dane, Frank Kinney. Just because I happened to catch those on the screen when I turned.
How big's the power supply? 1,200
Um,
cc? No.
You're talking about this power supply and this rig?
Yeah. 1,000?
1,300?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a beast.
Was it extra long? I don't remember. Yeah.
I don't remember either.
Yeah.
I think it is.
It couldn't have been that your standard size, not for 1,300.
Okay, well. Oh,
No, you can't take that off.
Yeah.
that's just a case cover.
Shroud,
That's
yeah.
not- So I was
Yeah.
putting my hand on the back of the power supply. I can't even tell the physical size of it from there.
It's in the
Seasonic.
original build video. I take it out, obviously out of the box and show everybody. Why do you ask?
I didn't, he did.
No, I mean, I was asking him.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, you were just
Yeah.
a thought entered your head?
Yeah.
You don't remember putting it in? He was there.
I was there. Yeah. It's all.
He helped me put it in. You
Yeah.
think he'd remember
Yeah.
what he put in?
I remember the box. Yeah.
not unless he has better
Okay.
memory than I do.
Yeah.
Now this card's gonna work. I got a good feeling.
It better work.
Yeah.
or
You're going to start crying? Then I'll be really laughing.
I'll,
All right,
I'll,
so, yeah.
I'll give you an etch a sketch you
Yeah.
can use in the meantime.
Okay.
All right, Doug, why don't you turn it on? It's your system.
right.
Power button's way up there.
Right there.
This one.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see your diagnostics here.
Yeah.
You certainly can hear the blower.
Oh, was that the graphics card?
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, make that thing work hard.
Now she quieted down.
Well, that's because
Oh,
it's
it's resetting.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
training the graphics card.
The card. So. Now, what's the retail price? Not the gouge price, but the retail price of that card?
I think I paid $1,900 for it.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a good deal.
Yeah, way back.
That was back right when the pandemic first started.
Well, when I looked, when you told me about the value of that card, I went and looked around at it. There's some of those selling like on eBay way higher than
Oh,
the
yeah.
3,000 number.
Oh, sure. Yeah, especially the blower style.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hey, that one looks good.
Razor sharp, yeah. It'll have Windows 7, I bet. No?
Yeah. You know what? That would require some
XP?
talent.
Okay, yeah, XP? No, here we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it went into 4K mode there.
Yeah,
Everything
looks
looks
like it.
super tiny.
Okay.
But we're going to be missing a ton of updates. So let me plug an internet connection into it, and we'll grab that and plug her in.
And you want to change the display off of 4K?
Yeah.
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 That's a little tiny whiny there.
Which is smaller, tiny whiny or itty bitty?
Eensy teensy.
Good old Brian Regan.
Display.
No, it says it's in 1080.
Oh, okay.
Well, why it seems so... I guess because we were looking at it in the
yeah, you got
OBS.
Small.
You really think a ton of updates?
Oh, yeah, and this hasn't been on in what, 2 months?
Okay.
And then the other motherboard is going to need to be updated, but we're not going to worry about that one.
Yeah, I can take care of the updates when I get it.
Yeah, look at that. Grab that too. So, we'll let that run here for a moment. Then the last thing we have to do is just hook these fans up. And then after that, it's just cable management, which is going to be, you know, one cable at a time. One cable at a time. No big deal. Ooh, I can feel the heat coming off of it. Or I smell the heat. Look at that. CPU temp is on display there.
Yeah.
And that's configurable.
As far as what the long-term display is on it.
What you want it to display,
Yeah.
Through the ASUS software.
Yeah, so I see this is also cycling through the RGB
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah, and here as well. Here and here is RGB.
yeah.
And then there's some color behind the board, do you see?
Oh, sure.
And that's all synchronized with the RAM. And then when we tie the cooler and the fans to the motherboard's ARGB connector, then it should all be, so like if you had it sequencing, it would all move or flash, or it would all be in synchronization. Right now, this is not, but it's just randomly going through a rainbow. This is also randomly going through a rainbow. So this one is matching those fans, but the RAM is matching the board because they're not synchronized yet. When it's on rainbow, I don't think anybody notices, but when you have it like moving, like a Las Vegas sign,
Yeah.
you can totally do that if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna likely spend much time doing that.
You know what, you
Kind of
say
hard,
that
right?
now,
But that's
but I'm going to tell you, when you start messing with it, 2-3 hours is going to go by, and you're going to, like me, I was really mad at myself
If I get into something that I want to do this, then I'm kind of
Well,
stuck on
like
that
with
for
this
a
here,
while.
when I started playing with this,
Yeah.
I wasted so much time going through all the color cycles and patterns and brightnesses, and I think I spent 2 hours on it. And I thought, what am I doing? This is a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
I've got work to do. So
I do have things in mind that I'm not going to talk about yet.
Oh.
About how to utilize the excessive memory and processing power and storage space. But under promise, over deliver. So I'm not going to talk about that yet.
come here, I want to show you the box this goes in. You think that's big? Wait till you see the box.
Yeah. Be glad to get it out of studio.
I have-
Yeah,
Studio
I like
B
that
here.
box.
Yeah, no, not the card.
Taking up a lot of real estate here on that piano
Well,
dolly
yeah.
or whatever they
Is
call
that going to fit in your car okay?
Moving dolly.
Only
So,
laid down, I don't think it'll fit.
Yep.
vertical.
You probably want to lay it down so it doesn't
Yeah.
tip over anyway.
Yeah.
What a beast.
Sorry, might have been talking over you, Mitch.
Oh,
I had the microphone on because I wanted people to hear the.
Oh, they heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
and
more
then
interested in
do
the
you
car.
set up, so in other words, when you turn the power on, in order to dual boot, you'll set it up and you'll either say motherboard A or motherboard B, or if you want to, so that on the screen it gives you a choice whether you want to go into the, that motherboard or the little motherboard, or
No, you're referring to a multi-boot single board. These are two boards that operate independently as two different computers with two different power buttons.
okay.
Two different video
displays.
cables, two
Yeah,
different
two
keyboards.
different- and two
Whatever
different
that display
displays.
cable goes to. Now, I could run a display cable from each of these motherboards to one monitor and then press the buttons on the
Buttons,
monitor
monitor.
to switch back and forth.
For
Yes.
I won't be doing that. That's not of interest to me. I do have one monitor that I do that with between two
Yeah.
computers.
Because I know some people like either 2 or even 3 monitors, but for me, I'm just like, one's good enough. I mean, 2 would be nice, but I'm like, I just go with my standard 23-inch, and I'm like, that's big enough. Any bigger, I'd be having to go further away, and
I
so
have
I'm like,
6 on my desk.
6? Are they then double stacked, or 3
No,
and then
there's,
3?
there's 3 that are my computer, 1, 2, and 3.
Three.
And then there's my iMac, so that's an all-in-one. Then on the other side, I have 2 monitors that I use for connecting to computers that I'm working on, repairing whatever. But so they're all 5 of them are on mounted arms,
Okay.
and then the iMac. But I'm redoing my whole studio setup, and I'm not totally decided what the configuration is going to be when it gets back together.
Michael Dane says, I can see the machine saying, I am Nomad, I am perfect.
Star Trek, the original series reference there.
Bob Connor says, as long as it doesn't say, I'm sorry, Doug, I'm afraid I can't do that.
Yeah. In Hal's voice, yeah.
Michael's next comment, Doug, with all those fans, you can fly at home.
Hey, well, you got the
There-
pilot's license, so you're
Yeah.
halfway there.
Now, one comment about the fans is my current computer has 2 big case fans, 2 or 3 big case fans at the bottom, but they are 2012 vintage fans, and I didn't buy them for their silence. When I ordered the computer, so they're kind of noisy. So I actually currently have them disabled,
Yeah.
and I did Prime 95 and stressed it out, and temperatures, they're all fine. They don't.
You know what? The
the
bottom fans are pointless.
pointless.
Absolutely pointless. You want air moving either out the back or out the top back, not both. In this case, we do have both because we're looking at an aesthetic of coloring and RGB. But if we were doing this for practicality reasons, with the radiator and the fans blowing the air out, we would not want to steal any air away from the radiator by pushing it out the back. It would actually cause the computer to run a little hotter, believe that or not. However, there's nothing practical about this computer. right? Unless you were doing work where you're running multiple virtual machines or you're running severe rendering in like AutoCAD and things like that. This is a workstation. This is not a gamer's computer. And while you can use a $10,000 computer to game, it's sort of like using a hatchet where an X-Acto knife would, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is a very, very powerful computer. And I was thinking last night how long this computer's lifespan should be. If a regular $1,000 computer build these days is about 8 years, I would anticipate 15 out of this one, given how much power it's got. It's hard to say for sure, not knowing where the operating systems are going to move to in the 15, 16 years. But I could foreseeably, realistically see whatever's happening 15 years from now, this can still run a modern OS. I might be wrong, but it's so over the top for today's needs and tomorrow's needs and the next 5 years needs. I think, you know, if you got 20 years out of it without a single upgrade, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I think that would totally depend upon what I wind up doing with it. It's possible if the things that I have envisioned to do with this technically are really successful, work out well, and I like that, it's possible I could do upgrades as more advanced parts come along. I'm not saying that I'm planning it, but if there's a purpose for it, if there's a reason for it, I can do it. So now, I just use the word purpose. I use the P word.
The P word.
If purpose was the driving factor behind buying this, then I'm totally doing a stupid thing. What really got me thinking about this computer was I was fascinated by the idea of 2 computers in one. Mm-hmm. I do use multiple computers for valid, productive reasons. Both of the computers that I'm using in my number 1 and number 2 position are underpowered for what I'm trying to do, and it causes me grief, it causes me inconvenience and sluggishness in what I'm doing. So the technical specs of this are usable by me. The fluff is not. I could have just rebuilt my current computer with more modern parts. Mm-hmm. It would not take a second board in it. Well, that's okay. I use a newer second computer. I could. It got to the point where,
excuse me.
Where I just said, I want it.
It's emotional.
That's what it all came down to. I want it.
Well, that's why I built it, for the same reason. I wanted to.
I've been living so tightly confined in refurbished equipment, older equipment, getting along, making it do, that I had a rare opportunity in my life where I could afford to do this, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it.
It could cost you less in the long run. If you think about, you know, I see a lot of people who will buy the cheapest computer they can get. I'm sure you have too.
Sure.
And then they're basically disposable. There's not much you can do with them. They're proprietary designs, some of these HPs and Dells that are $300, $400. And when they go out of warranty and they need a repair, they cost more to repair than just buying a new one, or very close. So they just buy another one. And so they'll go through, you know, in 8 years, they might go through 3 of them. Versus if they would have just bought one $800 or $900 computer, they might have spent the same, but not had the inconvenience of having to reset everything up over and over again in that same period of time.
I have a computer question for you 2 smart computer guys, and I want to see whether you can answer it, okay?
All right.
You ready?
Ready.
My main desktop is an i7, so it's a good graphics, it's a good chip.
Well, an i7 what?
9700.
Oh, it's a 9th gen.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's fairly
And 16 gig of RAM. I was using DaVinci Resolve, which is an editing software.
I think we're both familiar with that.
Well, I filmed myself on my phone, and I went to import the file into DaVinci Resolve, And when I went to import, I'm getting an error 59, which is telling me that my graphics card is too old to either, what is it, transcode or something like that. So the graphics card I have in there is from 2013. It's a GTX GeForce 770. And when I looked that up, it said that those originally came out in 2013. And so is that true then, that that graphics card can't transcode that video file? I guess it was, because I shot it on my phone, it tried to import it as an MOV, you know, versus an MP.
That's what Apple uses. Apple uses MOV.
And so error 59, looking it up, it just said your graphics card's too weak. And I'm like,
well, for DaVinci Resolve, you could use another editor.
right, another, that's kind of.
Power Director would probably do it. But what do you think,
Now,
Doug?
are you sure it was coming in as an MOV? Because there's another format that Apple uses, a 4-letter acronym. And what I found is that if somebody's, what was that? I think is if they're trying to download that or import that directly from their iCloud storage, then it doesn't get translated to, I think, MPG. I think if you have the iCloud app installed on your computer, when that downloads to your computer, it automatically gets converted to the, was it MP4? And that your
Well, it depends on the-
Resolve may be able to import that easier.
It depends on the editor, right? The editing software?
Right.
Whether or not it changes it to MP4 or changes it to, you mean you can,
When
like,
I'm, no,
with Power Director, I can control if I want an MP4 as a X264, X265, if I want a WMV or an AVI.
but what I found, and I think it was with Stan, my brother, because he does DaVinci Resolve, I think. He's using, well, it might have been with Ken Stout, not sure. But somebody had a problem where it was downloading in the wrong format, and when we researched it and tried different things, we found on mine, because I have iPhone too, I have iPhone also. So
Yeah, because an iPhone 2 is pretty old.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the video files on mine, and they were coming to my computer as the MP4, I think is the right designation. But if I went into the web browser, into iCloud, I found that they're actually stored there in the 4-character name. I think IHAP, something like that.
Weird.
So did somebody put that in chat? I don't see
Well,
it
somebody said to try to encode it using the CPU, not the GPU.
Could be.
So I'm like, okay. And I did read on a forum or something, yeah, you've got to enter something to trick it, to either trick DaVinci Resolve or something, and then
Well,
it'll
you would disable the use of CUDA cores.
Yeah, that was it. That was,
But
yeah.
you would,
that,
you would need, your processing would be a lot slower if you're using the CPU.
Okay.
The reason they're using the CUDA cores or preferring is because of the performance. So it could be painfully slow, depending on.
So now I'm just using that awful that video editor that comes with Windows 10. You know that.
Does Windows 10 come with a?
Yeah, it used to. You've got to kind of look for it now, but it's still, I think, called. It used to be Movie Maker, but
Yeah.
now they titled it Video Editor. But it's pretty basic, and I'm like, yeah. But I mean, it worked, but I'm like, I don't know.
Well, video editing is one of the most difficult tasks you can ask your computer to do, and you'll never have enough power. So you've got a 3-year-old CPU, 4-year-old CPU paired with a 8-year-old, 9-year-old GPU.
Yeah.
And you're trying to do something using a phone that's how old?
It's a iPhone SE2, so
How
it's
old is it?
last year's model.
So you have the most modern, one of the
Right.
most modern
Phones.
filmmaking devices as far
Yeah.
as camera pixels, right? And you're putting it into a fairly modern CPU. 9th gen's nothing to sneeze at. But that GPU, you're bordering a decade of age there.
Okay.
So you've got very unbalanced technology here.
Yeah.
But if you get out of DaVinci Resolve, which is a very professional editing software with high demands,
Right.
go to a consumer editor such as Cyberlink Power Director or Pinnacle's, remember Pinnacle's?
Pinnacle Studio. Yeah.
Pinnacle Studio, is that what
yeah.
it's called? Those are more what you should be starting with a consumer editor, in my opinion, before moving up to a professional editor. DaVinci
Yeah.
Resolve is a professional editor. It's right up there with Adobe Premiere or, DaVinci Resolve. You can buy the controller pads that tie into the. They're like $15,000, $20,000.
Yeah.
It's not a consumer toy. If you were going to be an editor for a living and you wanted to practice with it so that you knew when you went into the studio to be familiar with DaVinci Resolve,
Yeah.
but just because you work in an industry where that's where the editors use, it's not, in my opinion, it's not appropriate for you to use.
Because really all I need is I shoot my acting auditions on my phone, so really all I need is a fade up, a fade down, maybe a dissolve, maybe, but probably not, and
You want Power Director.
so that's, I'm not editing a movie, it's just a 2-minute clip or something that I'm sending off to casting
You're
directors.
way
so
in
that's-
over your head on
I'm
DaVinci
way in
Resolve.
over my head with DaVinci.
You have brought a. I'm trying to think of a good example.
A knife to a gunfight?
No, the other way around.
The other way.
You-
So before I forget,
Sledgehammer
Okay,
when you
all right,
when you need something.
Okay,
Yeah.
somebody did come up in chat, it's HEIC, and there's Mark Mack
okay.
also saying HEIC. That's so look at that import file name as you're trying to import it.
Okay.
If you do see that HEIC as a .HEIC,
Okay.
and look further down that road, but it sounds like what you're describing should be Googleable.
Okay.
Have you tried Google searching for it?
What's Google? No, I mean, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
should be.
So, I kind of like Carrie's thing. Just find a consume. Just find a
Well, okay, that's
that's
I
it.
tongued it.
Yeah. Just find a consumer editor, I guess, something simple that I can learn on, and then
Yeah.
I can always grow to those higher end ones that have all the color correction and that I don't need and blah blah blah.
Yeah, now if it is HEIC issue though, you still might have that.
HEIC is photo. HEVC, Stan Haristoff.
Oh,
HEVC sounds
probably
familiar to me. I've never
that's
heard of.
probably-
Yeah.
HEIC, I'd suspect that is probably.
I've never even heard of an HEIC, but that makes sense. HEVC I've dealt with. In the chat,
Because I use an app called Filmic Pro, where you can set 1080p or 720. Is there maybe within that app I can tell it I don't want this file as
Yeah.
a dot movie. I want it. I want it as a MP4 or something like that, and then maybe it would import fine. But
Okay, Stan Betts, are you in the chat room? If so, type something on the chat. Let me know. I want to watch the chat a little bit to see if he does.
I need to
Oh, we got a
scroll
little
up.
bit of a delay.
Yeah, and I need to scroll up a minute here because
Okay.
somebody had asked a question I want to address. Jeff Ryman says the Big Beast bill doesn't meet requirements for Windows 11.
What?
Well, you see how it says that on the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's because I turned TPM off in the BIOS.
Yeah.
Because I don't want Windows 11 to just one day appear. If you leave the computer on 24/7, it could update itself automatically overnight. You're going to come in the morning and you're going to have Windows 11.
Yeah. I've been trying to get a confirmation on that from somebody.
Oh, what's happened?
I think I had one client that it happened to. And somebody on my channel recently turned a computer on that hasn't been on for a long time. I think that's what the person said. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. Might have been, I think it was Jim. And he got the messages for offering him Windows 11. He actually had 4 different full screen messages that he sent me pictures of. But that still doesn't say what if he didn't respond to
Right,
it.
right.
Because he did respond to it and said, not, told it not now.
Well, when I set up my computers, ladies and gentlemen, I don't usually set them up for technical people. People that are technical usually do this stuff themselves. But I have been doing this for so long that's like inset into who I am. Like I feel like, well, even though you know how to do it, I'm going to just take care of it for you.
Yeah.
And then when you get it home, you can completely undo everything I did.
Well, I probably intended to tell you this, but one of the first things I'm going to be doing, which I already have, and I have it with me, is a Macrim Reflect backup of my current computer, and then a Macrim Reflect restore to dissimilar hardware.
Oh, good. So all this is going to get
all this
wiped out.
updating is out the window.
Yeah, but what's the point of going through the effort of making a video if we don't conclude it? Like if we say, well, Doug's going to finish it up over there.
Yeah.
You know what? Oh, we totally could have done that. You could have filmed it. For some reason, see, it's still not in my head
Well,
that
I-
not only are you a tech, but you're also a streamer, and you could say part 1 and 2 are at my channel, and we could have done like part 3 and 4 could have been at, you know, when it's at your place. Why didn't we think of this? It would have saved me a lot of work.
Well, I thought of a variation of that. I actually have my C drive for both my computer number 1 and number 2 images with me on a M.2 in a silver, whatever that
Silverstone?
enclosure was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I bought those, and I mean we could restore that right here.
Does that TPM stand for toilet paper money? No, that's not.
It depends if there's a pandemic.
Okay.
Look how cool that M.2
Oh yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
I
Just
saw
for
that.
Yeah.
swapping in and out.
Oh.
And if I had any reason to be swapping them in and out,
No.
I'd be very attracted to it.
And envy me or SATA, doesn't care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's slick. Yeah.
that is sweet.
That's
Yeah.
like my new favorite. And then this little
Yeah,
rubber piece
without-
here.
Nubbin.
It doesn't even have a lid.
No,
Right.
Right.
because it's just meant to be
Uh-huh.
recovering data
Yeah.
or doing a image, pop it out, put something else in it.
Yeah.
Because they do sell
Oh.
a full enclosed one as well, but I like this one
Yes.
personally.
So then I see that this
Nubbin.
rubber
Yeah.
nubbin.
Nubbin.
Yeah, I like that technical term.
Yeah.
It can be slid to that larger hole and then put into one of these other holes, and you
Yep.
can just
For the
slide
smaller,
it to lock it
Yeah.
in.
Mhm.
And so it could be on the other. The
Although Carrie's right, I so rarely, I'm so used to the NVMEs being 80 to see
80 millimeters.
Yeah,
in length.
to see the smaller ones.
I
you
never
just,
see 'em.
You just don't see them, you know.
I've
so
seen them in laptops,
tops.
and I think I've seen them in major brand computers, but it's not very often that I go looking.
right.
Now,
either.
this is the fully enclosed
Yeah.
one, and
Yeah.
you just push, yeah,
Yeah.
and no tools are required.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But that will do both or no? That'll only
Yes, that'll do
Yeah.
NVMe or SATA.
Or
It's just
SATA,
the
yeah.
enclosed version.
Right.
For a more permanent solution.
Right. So
And it looks like it has room for 4 different sizes.
Yeah, it does appear that way.
okay.
Goes all the way up, it looks like, to 120 millimeter, which again, I've never seen a 120 millimeter.
Well, I'm so
M.2.
used to the stick of gum is 80 millimeter.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the standard.
Because you've always known that was the size of a stick of gum?
No,
As you're-
no,
when you were a kid?
No, Carrie, we did a video where we hid the NVMe behind a stick of gum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Doublemint.
Well, you said you've always known.
Yeah,
Hey, what?
Always since the M.2, not always since the gum.
right.
Thanks
I
for
thought it was always since he was born.
thanks for complicating it.
Yeah, well, I do that. I can take a simple task and complicate it.
Hey, one of us at a time. I don't need the competition. So I don't know. I mean, we could restore your M.2 to it if you want to. I feel like we should image it just in case everything goes sideways, that we could put it back. But I mean,
Well, we could do that at the same time. I mean, would the boot off of my Mac Rim Reflect, put in my my M.2 in the Silverstone, start with imaging that to the M.2 as it sits now, and then in the same instance do a restore.
it doesn't sound like a very riveting video. How long do you think that's going to take?
Minutes.
We'll go get it.
All right.
I've got the garage open if you want to go straight out.
When
this
when your desktop pops up, then you don't have anything on it that if we were to show it on screen, meaning your
Yeah, I show my desktop all
time
the
of
time.
the
on my
time. Okay,
channel, so
I'm just
that's
asking.
okay.
You know, yeah, so whether you've got anything personal.
Yeah,
That's the
okay.
thing. We're not accustomed to having a knowledgeable tech and streamer. So forgive our questions. It's you can go.
I gotta stop this thing from yakking at us.
Okay. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll do that because I don't normally cover that kind of stuff on the channel because of how time consuming it is. But you say it'll take minutes? Let's do it.
Less than the updates will take, sir.
Well, the updates are done. It wasn't too bad. Now, I don't know if there's a BIOS update to this, but
So I think when I did the image of my C drive, I think it took like 15 minutes.
well,
and
and
that
this
was with lower USB capability, I think, than what we're doing.
well, and this shouldn't take too long to back it up because there's not much there. Just pretty much just Windows and not even Office.
The restore will take longer than the backup of that.
So, okay.
Oh, I know what
Let me sneak by you.
I'll do. Okay.
And then I can adjust the camera a little more. We have more people than the camera can hold.
Yeah.
Need a wider lens. And as I get fatter, I probably
yeah.
need the wider lens.
Is it time for corny joke of the day?
Well, that's up to you.
Oh, yeah. I got more than one today. So,
we
all right,
go.
Chad, it's time. You love it for corny joke of the day. What do you call a monkey that has a banana stuck in both ears?
What do you call a banana that has a monkey stuck? What do you call a monkey that has a banana stuck in both ears?
Anything you want. He can't hear you.
Ba-dum-bum. All right, that's one.
That's one.
Do we recover from that one, or are you going to go right for the double hit?
Oh, the double hit. Okay. How does James Bond like to sleep?
How does James Bond like to sleep?
Under covers.
Da-dum-dum.
There's your 2 for
Exit
1 today.
stage left.
Yeah, exit stage left.
All right. All right. Thankfully, Doug was out of the room and didn't have to hear those terrible jokes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the
So,
joke.
They were horrible, as usual. New lows.
okay, new lows.
You're welcome. Oh, you've got this slide out M.2 enclosure.
Yeah.
I think I've got one of those under here.
So, yeah, this label on here that says Windows 11, ignore that, it's not true. But that's the slide out style of the silver stone. Is that what it is? And then,
Yep, Silverstone. What you got there?
And then I've got these little Cruiser Force 16 gigabyte,
Oh, SanDisk, huh?
yeah, SanDisk. And what I like these for is that they don't have any cap, no slider, and no shoulder. That
No
takes
LED
more
that tells you if it's reading or writing, and they're not typically very fast.
Is 2.0 intentionally for compatibility purposes, but that's just Macro and Reflect.
Compatibility to what? It's all backwards compatible. What are you talking about?
I've had I'm not going to
Just say shut up, Kerry.
I'm not certain. Yeah, shut up, Kerry.
All right, let's do this. Let's. I'm going to let you take over.
All right.
I should give you the microphone.
Okay. Now I was
There,
thinking
you
if
can-
we take the NVMe out of here and put it into your USB-C, we should get even faster speed. Right?
Is it that big of a file?
As to over 200 gigabytes. My entire C drive
Yeah, let's do
content. It's only got 2 screws.
screws.
Is that the
So
number?
what I would do is just hang this on your pocket and just clip this to your shirt.
Oh, ooh, I didn't even realize what you handed me.
Yeah. Because we're putting you in charge now.
Do you need the one smaller than a number 1, Kerry, to open that?
Probably. Oh, look at you, you're gonna hide the cable.
Oh, professional.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize what shirt I wore till I was in the car. Check
Doesn't
it.
matter. You have a special
It's a
on-camera
special shirt. Check this.
Oh,
That's
get out of here.
that's a pocket.
What?
That's a pocket right there. It's called a Scotty vest. Scott E vest. It's for being able to have hidden
Turn a little
stuff.
bit so people can see.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah.
I think
That I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if it had a little place to run the cable inside the shirt without,
Yeah, it has a couple other hidden pockets.
Everybody should hear you.
Yeah, I love those Scott E vests. Yeah, that you have your choice of like 17 pockets, 20 pockets, all on this vest, a pocket big enough that can hold an iPad.
The kids today
So-
just wear backpacks.
Okay.
Okay, chat, can you hear me
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Am I obviously on the right microphone?
Do you see the lines moving
Moving.
Do I see the lines moving?
when you speak?
What? Oh, yeah.
See, when I
Okay.
speak, because I'm not wearing a mic,
Yeah.
and when I talk, that it's not going quite as high because it's picking up from.
All right.
Have you ever seen this
Gotcha.
toolkit?
I have seen it, I think, on the Kerry Holzman show.
Oh, that's a great show. Little toxic, but otherwise a good show.
I
This
use
is
I
the-
use it to help me go to sleep.
This toolkit?
No, the Kerry Holzman show. Yeah, that is the tiniest.
I'd say
Little,
that's
yeah,
the first time I've
Yeah.
ever heard that, but then I'd be a liar.
that is a very tiny.
Oh yeah, I've done this before.
You're
I'm gonna need my glasses.
You're a professional.
I'm the only one around here without glasses.
And some light. You know,
I don't need any light. I'm used to working in the dark.
darn.
This one right here ought to do the job.
Okay, while you're doing that,
Yep.
let me get over here
Yeah.
to restart this computer and boot it to Macrim Reflect. And how do I see a screen?
Oh, I have to turn that up. You don't use OBS?
No.
Well, I will set
I'm
that
sure
up
I
for
could.
you. I'm gonna set these little tiny screws right there, Doug, so
All right.
that we don't accidentally knock them loose and they go flying somewhere. But that's open. Okay, let me put this tool away.
What did I just do? Yeah. See, this has so many parts to it, this Silverstone. So Kerry took the 2 screws out. It takes 4 screws, but I only put 2 in it. And then when I pulled this lid off, something fell to the ground.
the
Well, that's
switch.
the switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm showing it to the audience just to show how this one works. Let's see. I would see the effort that you put into trying to show it to the audience,
Yeah.
and I know how that is. So that is the back of the board, and then there's the NVMe plugged into it. I think that's an NVMe, which is totally pointless in this enclosure.
Not just, well, in that.
Well, any M.2 would have got me the same.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's
Yeah.
take that one out. I need my glasses again.
No, I don't think it is an NVMe, is it?
This is SATA.
Yeah.
Screw you didn't. Doug, you didn't. You didn't put the screw in straight. It's crooked.
Is that?
Sorry, my OCD gets the best of me sometimes.
How much slower is SATA to NVMe?
SATA you do about 550 megabytes a second. NVMe you can do about, well, if it's PCIe 4, 7,000 megabytes per second.
Phew, jeez.
Okay, Mitch, do you have that tiny screwdriver? I'm going to put the screws back in.
I'll get
They're
it.
not going to. I don't trust them to survive the time delay.
I was going to put this screw back, but where did it go? Where's the,
And it goes into here.
oh, it went right here.
Oh,
Let's see what I did.
oh, that's another little piece that came off.
This is the little brass.
Yeah. Well, how about putting it through the hole so it's held in here? So it's
It's, yeah.
because we're not going to use that in
Right.
your device.
Are we going to put it back when we're done?
I don't know.
We're just going to take my device. You haven't decided?
Yeah, I haven't decided
Okay. It's a fair answer.
because I'm not spending brain time on that question right now.
Well, he's honest.
What screw did you use?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, this one.
I don't trust parts to be disassembled
Oh, and this place
long,
is dangerous
so I
for you to
like
be.
putting them back together. Yes, it
Everything
is.
disassembled.
That's why I'm saying I want to do this.
He says, I saw what you did to that video card. I've seen what you do, Carrie. I'm gonna rescue my computer from this place, this torture chamber of hardware.
How old was that 660 Any idea? Is that about 8 years old, 9 years old?
What are you talking about?
That graphics card, that 660?
Oh,
You said you looked it up.
that
You
Kerry
told us.
broke?
Now you're asking us?
Oh, that one that-
No, my 770 came out in 2013.
Oh,
But-
who has a 660?
The one that you broke.
That's not a 660,
Oh.
it's a 1660.
Oh, 16.
That's significantly
Yeah,
newer.
2 years old. No.
Yeah, it
Is
might
it
be
B?
a year and a half, 2 years old.
so see now this whole thing is just going right back into my
In the
pocket.
So you're done with that?
With all the parts, yeah. All right, so that's in there. Your the screen is
1650,
fixed.
Sorry,
No.
it's cheap.
How does that come out of its thingamajig? Very technical here. Yeah.
This has a
Oh,
lifts up.
Okay, so it looks like you put the screen back, but we're not seeing the big beast build on screen.
I haven't turned it on.
Oh, okay. Duh.
Am I going too fast for you, Doug?
Yeah.
Nobody ever says that to
slow
me.
it down
Nobody ever
a little.
They tell me to slow down my talking, but not my work. They say speed up the work.
chop chop.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, isn't that what I said? Well, why can't I see it?
I don't know,
It's
'cause
not
I'm
that.
not
That's,
listening.
can you
Okay.
get around to this?
I can't talk and listen at the same time. I don't even hear myself.
Carrie, Doug lost his mic on the shirt. Oh.
Thank you, Jack. Who said that?
Do you have to hit a certain keyboard to get into the
Sam
whatever?
Ventile.
Yes, we'll have to go to the boot menu, which is what? Probably F12. Well,
Which keyboard? Anatech or the other one? Huh.
the Antec keyboard will be the one you're going to use.
The Artec?
Artec keyboard.
Tell me when to start hitting F12.
I don't think it's F12
Oh.
on an ASUS.
Oh.
It's,
Delete?
no, delete or F2 usually gets you into the BIOS.
Okay. When do I start hitting it? Now?
No.
No.
I'm trying to think what the key is on an ASUS board. Might be F10 or 11.
Chat?
Well, we need to get to a desktop so we can reboot it. Yeah?
Well, I was gonna
Or are you
reboot
just going to do the
before I
power
did this.
button?
I guess you could do
You
it.
just do the power button all the time. Yeah. I don't. I always
told you,
go
you're
to
taking
the
over.
start
Why don't you
button.
Tell me what to do.
Give me a display on the screen.
Okay.
I already did.
Sorry, I'm not listening.
Yeah.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm not listening?
You never listen.
What?
You never listen to me.
What? We'll wait till he catches up.
Yeah.
Oh, I caught it.
I know, I'm teasing you.
Bob Connors says Doug Bett's channel is here. Oh, thank you, Bob Connors. And he actually, but I can't see with glasses or without to that
And you drove all the way in.
chat screen. Yeah, well, I have
He's got
monitors on my desk.
That's because he's had his windshield ground to his I-class prescription, so that way nobody can steal his car.
It was hilarious.
Prescription windshield.
Yeah, prescription windshield is
This
something new.
last bit of driving that went so crazy. I had my sunglasses on and I had my reading glasses on over them, and I'm looking over the brim of both of them to see the road.
Yikes.
I'm only looking through them when I glance down at my instruments.
Uh-huh.
And I can't call them dashboard because they're instruments.
And
Really? Do you play them?
Well,
Sounds like
in an
wind instruments
airplane,
to me.
it's an instrument panel, not a dashboard. Ken Stout Live, Humor and Doug. What else am I seeing? Blackwatch, hi. Hermos, Hero.
somebody wants, what's my
Thank
last
you.
name? My last name's Morrison.
Morrison.
Like Jim Morrison of the Doors. You can look me up on IMD.
He's Mitch Morrison of
Yeah,
Windows.
yeah, you can look me up on imdb.com, Internet Movie Database. Just type in Mitch Morrison and my acting site comes right up.
AJ Haverkamp, you sound like a married couple. That's, I think, the gag we were going for.
Considering I'm the only one here that's never made the fatal mistake. I mean, never gotten married, so I'm too young. I told Carrie I'm hoping to get married, or actually I'm hoping to die on my 90th birthday, and my wife is so sad she has to drop out of college. That's what I'm hoping. There you go.
Is that what you were going to do, Doug?
Yeah, probably would be, and if I were allowed to drive.
Sorry, here. You know what?
Mr. 3 levels as he's looking through the glass. Well, gee, officer, I've got 3 levels here.
He
He's
can't
like,
be here without touching the
yeah.
controls.
Okay.
You know, it's a live show, and I've always been under pressure, especially in radio. There can be no silence.
Yeah.
Dead air is their enemy.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so ingrained.
Well, I haven't been
Did I
in
miss the
radio
after-
as a profession, but I feel that too when I'm doing a live stream. There has to be something verbal going out, whether it's from me or from the Zoom, and that kind of saves me a lot, because when the Zoom people are talking, then I can focus my attention on something else. But the downside there is I don't hear what they're saying at all.
You just go, uh-huh.
You know, well, yeah, but then that also comes from marriage experience.
All right, as you can see,
Oh.
Reflect 8 is loading,
Yeah.
and this has a little power button on it, by the way. So when you plug it into the USB port,
Oh, all right.
it may not turn on
All
until
right.
the USB initializes.
Yeah.
If you have
So
any,
I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Oh, USB-C. Where
maybe
is
that
it?
error.
Here.
Uh-oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
You may need to load drivers. Oh, for the
No, we
internet
don't need
and
that.
network.
we don't need no stinking drivers.
Objects in this?
It actually says for the Ethernet controller. Yeah. So that would be
But it
if.
says the Ethernet controller and the network controller. Isn't that two of the same thing? Maybe it means the Wi-Fi and the.
Does
Oh,
that,
it could be. It could be identifying Wi-Fi as one.
does that say objects may
Because I-
appear closer? No, that's...
I don't always get both of them.
And nobody should.
Yeah.
You should say it right on the camera.
Can't, yeah.
There are no items to show.
This interesting. This has two Type C
Cs?
ports, and one of them is labeled SS for super speed.
Yeah, and the other one's maybe Thunderbolt or something. Either one should work though.
Then I'd choose the super speed.
Yeah, I'm with Mitch.
Whatever you guys want. I'm just along for the ride.
I'm agreeing with
Okay.
Mitch. I'm not with
Okay,
Mitch.
so you plugged it in. Why aren't we seeing anything?
Oh, because it has to be refreshed. If you plug in something, that's why I was trying to plug it in before Macrima Reflect
Gotcha.
actually got loaded, but somebody was distracting me
Okay.
from that.
Mitch, why did you distract Doug? How
So-
many times have I
yeah,
told you?
So there's the refresh.
There's a refresh.
One clicky.
This is so weird looking through the forest here.
Yeah.
All the way across
You know, we can
room.
move this a little to the right. You can hang it off the edge.
All right,
There we go.
hanging 10.
With this machine, 20.
About 6.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, we're on one of those tabs. We're probably on the
We're on
backup
Create.
tab. So that should be the restore tab. But nothing seems. The mouse moves, but I'm not seeing anything respond. I can't click on a menu. Well, I can click on it, but nothing
You're probably
happens.
using the wrong mouse.
I'm moving the mouse.
You're moving the OBS mouse, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
There's,
Oh, I do
there's
that
two
all-
mices.
I do
Mices.
that all
Mouses.
the time.
Yeah. You're not alone. I
Yeah,
do it
yeah,
too.
two, yeah. There you go.
How many times have I grabbed the wrong
Yeah.
mouse and keyboard?
Yeah. Well, some of the people.
No comment, yeah.
Some of the people that are watch both of our channels do their own Zoom sessions, and I've seen them do it too. Let's see. So then we're going to start with backing up. So I've got the backup tab here, and this first one is always going to be the boot drive. Now it has check marks here, but I used to clear those, but it's pointless because we're on this one right now. I'm going to image the disk to the M.2 drive.
Okay.
If I were to click on one of these others, then these two options, these two clickable options here will move down below whatever drive is active based upon what I've clicked on. So I got this solid blue line under that drive, that one's active. I come up here, I'll get a solid blue line across the whole bottom. So this is the one we're going to back up now. We're not going to back up just that first drive. We're going to be backing up the whole thing. We don't have to do any other selections here. We can go straight to image this disk and then pick a location. Click on that folder and then scroll down. I just can't decide whether I'm going to look through the glasses or over them. So here, Macrima Reflect. This one is named, so it's an easy way to find that here. And I'll open that up a bit and then go to
That says Macrium backups.
Macrium backups, because I also have Fabs backups
Okay.
on this same medium.
Okay.
And then click on that. And then down here, I'm going to put in a name of what this backup is. I'm going to do that with the correct keyboard. So saith I. See if that works. Okay, so this would be BBB, which I actually have my own nickname for it, but I'm going to use BBB for now. We'll talk about my nickname later.
Better Business Bureau? No?
Yeah,
Okay,
BBB.
okay, yeah, okay.
So Big B's build.
Okay.
All right, and that is Fresh Win 10 Pro, right?
Okay.
That is correct.
All right. So does that say Fresh Win 10 Pro? Because I can't read it from here.
It appears to.
How do you spell fresh? F-R-E-S?
Fresh.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got it correct.
Yeah.
Got it? All right. So then click Next. And let's see. Oh, I see. You got a clock right down.
Verify on?
No.
Got faith, huh?
Yeah. So I'm looking at your clock down there below the screen so that I can time it. So I'm waiting for it to go to
7
zeros.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's such an announcer's voice.
A brand new car!
Yeah! All right.
I'm not mic'd up, so they can't really hear it, I think. 'Cause
Oh,
I don't think it had the impact.
right,
Good.
right.
Now, if you hit the escape button on the other keyboard, it'll take you back to OBS.
Oh.
Because we're full screen, we can't see the chat right now.
And all we care,
Now we can see what's going on.
and all we need to see right now is the graph.
But will this tell you how long it's going to take?
Yeah,
Like, go
Is
over,
Macrium
over here?
accurate when it comes to the time estimated?
Nothing.
Or
No,
they
computers
never
aren't ever accurate.
Some are decent.
It can vary depending upon what you do. When you do a particular backup to a particular medium, you might coincidentally get a more accurate result.
But it seems like it's going pretty good. I mean,
That's what Doug said it was going to do.
yeah.
I never used Macrium. I found it confusing.
Well, I've seen that a lot of times when you go to a software you're not used to. It's confusing
That's fair.
until you learn it. Because this is really quick and easy to do once you understand it. But to figure out how to do something when you don't already know it. When I tried, what's the other one?
Acronis.
Acronis. When I tried that, I struggled trying to figure out how do I do anything with it.
I thought Acronis was more intuitive, but what's intuitive to me and what's intuitive to you may not be intuitive to anybody else, or may not be intuitive to each other. I thought Macrium Reflect was not intuitive, but my intuition was also based on my experience, and my experience was with Acronis, and prior to that it was with Ghost. Did you ever use Ghost?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what Ghost stands for,
Is it an acronym?
supposedly?
No.
A General Hardware-Oriented Software Transfer. I think, or am I just making that up?
General what?
General Hardware-Oriented Software Transfer.
Hardware-oriented software transfer. All right.
We should Wikipedia that. I think it's a thing.
It could be.
Or I'm making things up.
It
Which
could
is
be.
it, ladies and gentlemen?
I mean, but
You
it
could-
sounds like one of those things where they may have struggled to come up with
It
the
sounds like
acronym
they
they
did
wanted
after
to.
the fact.
They decided the acronym and then find some words to fit it.
You couldn't have pulled that, I mean, right off the fly.
Yeah, I know stuff like this.
Okay.
Like the BASIC programming language. BASIC stands for Basic All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction System.
Boy, this is moving, but it's
Yeah, but there's not much on it.
Yeah, there's
well,
really-
and it's in an SS drive.
Yeah,
Input-
NVMe
it's
SSD
just
hooked into USB 3 Type C.
C.
How many acronyms can we use?
Yeah,
But it's
right.
not an NVMe.
But it
a
wouldn't
SATA,
matter. Well,
but
actually
it's-
it would. It would double the speed. This would go up to
In the
1,000
USB-C, yeah.
with an NVMe. We're only going to do 550.
In a USB 3, that wouldn't make much difference, would it? Whether
It's
it's in it.
3.2 Gen 2, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but
This
it
is
has to
USB.
be 3.2 Gen 2 to
get
get
1,000.
that speed. Okay.
But even at 3, you're still going to do 300, 400 megabytes.
But for an
Alright.
SSD, it's moving. I mean, look at that. It's over halfway done already.
You mean for an external drive?
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
for an SSD.
Yeah.
But Doug says, let me say but numerous times, we only have the operating system.
Ah,
So it's only a couple of gigs.
okay.
Yeah,
What, 20
that's
gigs?
that's right, max headroom.
20, maybe 30 gigs. That's why what?
That's right, max headroom.
Yeah.
I'm referring to your stuttering there.
Wait till I start glitching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not.
I mean, I've got the sarcasm.
Yeah.
I totally love
Hello.
that show.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Just a twitch.
I got the bright white tee.
You got that old twitch again.
Yeah. All right, let's see how quickly somebody catches that spammer.
Fernando says, Carrie, your mic is way off. No, I'm not wearing a mic. Doug has mic 1. Mitch has mic 2.
So he can talk into the.
I can talk into
Yeah.
Mitch's nipple.
All right. Just,
It's weird that
yeah.
we're doing it this time with the microphone.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I want to explore that.
Here, you want to join us? Patrick Rousseau sent us the ultimate joke
Oh, yes.
book.
Yes.
If you want to join into the terrible joke,
I have seen these. I had a girlfriend at one point that says I need to become more humorous. I bought a joke book. Oh, not a good choice.
And in your honor, because you were outside and you missed one more.
Oh,
Just
boy.
one.
Oh, okay.
Mitch can't help himself.
Okay.
Just one more. What do pro wrestlers eat for lunch?
What do pro wrestlers eat for lunch?
What do pro wrestlers eat for lunch?
We should have done it together.
You don't have a
Yeah,
microphone.
we could have done it together.
What do, okay.
What?
Okay.
What do pro wrestlers eat for lunch?
A Hulk hoagie.
I had a pun in mind that I missed the opportunity for.
Okay.
I had it in mind when I came over
Did it have
here.
anything to do with Nantucket?
No,
Okay.
had to do with you.
Oh, you said a pun, not a poem.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I had in mind that I would stay off camera a bit longer, and then you would ask me to help you carry the Big Beast build up on
That would have
here.
been clever.
And I said, okay, I'll help you carry the Big Beast build over. Carry. See what I did there, carry? I used your name for the word carry.
Before.
No,
It'd
yeah,
be like
because
if
you've
I was
never
gonna
heard
dig
that
a hole,
before.
Yeah.
But after it's done, it'd be a Doug.
Doug, yeah.
No one, you probably never heard that, right? I just,
Oh, Doug, bats, beats, yeah, like bugs.
You know, there's that movie coming
Had
out.
a lot of them.
Did you ever watch the movie Up?
I don't think
Really
so.
good animated Pixar film. And in it,
Oh.
there's a dog named Doug.
Oh,
And
I've known of the dog named
was
Doug.
so popular, they're coming out with a sequel now called Doug.
Oh,
And he's
hey,
just a goofy dog.
I discovered, I do a lot.
Wait,
Oh, what do we
hold your thought.
what do
We're
we
just
got?
about done. We're at 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh,
Just
okay.
to interrupt. Go ahead. We were talking about Doug the dog.
Yeah, so I want to tell about the word Doug as a, I don't know, I think it's an adjective. But let's get on to the next step
It's a
first.
verb.
Let's get to,
Oh, digging.
and when you hear my description, then you can tell me what word form is. I'm not good enough at English grammar to know all that. So it should tell us how long the backup took when it is actually done. I think it's probably done,
It
isn't it?
looks like it's finished, but let me go full screen on it
Oh,
for us so we
all
can
right.
see it.
Yeah, like that's going to help me.
Well, now you just stood in
Now.
front of me.
I
Now I
can't
get
see
it.
it
There you
anyway.
go.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's
Yeah, where it says image completed successfully. That is what I use to really
What did it
confirm
say,
that
5
it's
minutes
done.
and-
6 minutes 30.
Well, it seems like it's a minute off because we're just hitting 6 minutes and 30 now. Didn't we start at 2:50?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's lying.
yeah. Well, that is. I've never really compared that
To the
number
first
to the clock.
one. All right, well, continue your process, please.
Yeah, let's get the restore going. Then I'm going to tell you about the word Doug. So stop that. So then,
Otherwise, I'm going to do more carryisms.
ah,
Cash and carry.
oh yeah.
Carry a tune. Carry me back from old Virginia.
I need to focus
Yeah,
for
okay.
a minute.
He stopped carrying.
Yeah, I still carrying.
I'm about to commit here,
All
carry.
right.
All right.
Caramba.
Wasn't he the announcer for the Cubs?
Let's see. So that says image, and then here this says. I need to pick a source. Up here it says browse for a source. I think does
Yeah,
it?
browse for user image file. or something?
All right. Let's see. I'm looking at the names of those partitions, so I don't have the right drive there yet. So here is Macrium and whatever else.
And fabs.
Fabs,
Yep.
yeah. So it's on the F drive. So then I'll need to double click on that, I think. Yeah. To see the folders. And there's a Macrium Backups
Yeah.
folder.
Yeah.
Now, when I have a Macrium Reflect backup done of my C drive every night, automatic, but I didn't have it named properly. When I tried to rename this file, so it'd be more obvious, it wouldn't let me because Macrium Reflect has some kind of a rename inhibit on that file.
You know why they do that, right?
Um,
It's to prevent a virus from infecting your image.
Okay,
that
so it
file
can't be
is
changed.
locked. You
All
can
right.
change it.
Yeah.
The way you would change it is you have to stop the Macrium service. It's probably
All right.
running, and then you can change the name of the file as long as you don't change the
Okay.
extension. Now, Cronus is exactly the same way.
Okay, then I'm sure Macrium would be able to read that file,
Yeah.
even though it has a different name.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the other file names there are clearly different because I did specifically name
I see a
them.
Lenovo, I see midterm
Yeah.
Optiplex, midterm Optiplex again.
Yeah, those two are
I
clients.
see BBB Freshwind 10 Pro,
Uh-huh.
and then I see this code, whatever this is.
Yeah, that's the one we want. That's the C drive from my
Hence
streaming
why you
computer.
want to rename it.
That's why I wanted to
Yes.
rename it. Now I'm just explaining how I'm identifying
Now,
from
it-
this list which one I want.
In Acronis, they used to let you put comments about what details of your image. Does Macrium allow for that? So just in case your name is all messed up.
Yes, I believe it does, and I never bother that because I put enough into the name of the file.
Okay, but in this case, you would also know it's 200 gigs and it was created just a couple days ago.
Right.
So that would be another way that you could tell if your file name was messed up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
And
there's nothing else that size.
And this is also, if I scroll over to the right, it's going to show the time of that backup, which would be my automated scheduled backup, which I think is 10 p.m. So that's the image that we're going to restore. Now, I mentioned that we're going to restore to dissimilar hardware, but that is a step we do after the restore.
Well, no. Oh, that's interesting. But you're going from Intel to Intel, right?
Yeah.
Are we going from NVMe to NVMe?
No.
That may be where the problem is.
They are. What problem do I have?
Well, usually you don't have to worry if you're restoring to dissimilar hardware.
Oh,
If your
I don't.
hard drive controller is the same, going from one Intel board to the next, then Windows just boots and loads all the drivers. The only thing
Okay.
dissimilar hardware should do is load the hard drive controller, which you may not even need to do. It may be
Yeah.
optional.
I do think that it probably is superfluous to do this dissimilar hardware.
That's
You
a
like that
great
word?
Superfluous.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard me use that word?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be word of the day today.
Now,
Superfluous.
if I would have used that in my own studio, I very easily could have turned to Alexa and asked, what does superfluous mean? Just to be sure I'm on target.
You should ask Alexa what another word for the source is.
Okay.
Or what would happen if there were no hypothetical situations. That's what I want. These are the questions that keep me
All right. So, yeah, going to, okay, here, because I'm doing a restore, and then we got to select the destination. So I think up here at the top, is it asked, no, that's browser image file. Oh, I need to go to restore. I think that says restore there, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so clicking restore, and then here we select a disk to restore to. Now, if you haven't been through this before, yeah, it would be difficult. Where do I go? It's not intuitive.
I like how Acronis makes recommendations, and it automatically assumes that you cannot restore to a disk that's too small. Like the
Oh, yeah.
rescue disk is 2 gigs,
Yeah.
right? So it won't even come up as an option. Or if it senses there's a new media that's never been partitioned or formatted, it knows that cannot be your source.
Right,
But
right.
it will suggest it automatically as a target.
I think the same is true here. I don't know that I've tested, but here we're about to test it. We're going to select this to restore to. So is it going to offer anything?
It would have been nice if they got rid of that step. Like, instead of making you click select a disk.
All right, just
that's
show-
an unnecessary step.
Just
go
show what's available.
there.
All
Yes.
right, I'll give
That's
you that.
unnecessary. It's superfluous. I told you I was going to use that.
All right.
Created a monster.
Now, it looks like we've got a lot of choices there that are a lot of choices. There are only 3 choices.
Well, there's only the top one that's 7 terabytes. Everything else is too small.
Yeah, but they are shown here, right? Are those? Yeah, there's a 14
disk 2.
gigabyte. So that's my little SanDisk thumb drive.
And then there's something here, disk 3, that's an M.2 enclosure.
Yeah, that's what the backup is stored on.
I see.
So it's actually allowing me
It's
to
showing
restore
the enclosure
to
separately?
that. Yeah, why wouldn't it?
Because it's the same thing. Or is it showing a partition?
Well, this Macrium
it's
and
got
Fabs,
two
that's a
partitions.
partition.
Okay, I got
On
you.
there.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
Because this one, I think that actually might be a Windows 11 boot image.
Well, I'll forgive you.
Yeah.
I'll look the other way.
So it is, which one is it? This one. Yeah, because it has all those
Well, it
existing
says right up, you're
partitions.
looking at the wrong area.
I can't see from here, Carrie.
Who said that?
Okay.
It just, I'm seeing 7 point, I can't even read it, but I see the 7 and
Yeah.
I see terabyte.
Uh-huh.
And I know there's nothing that big in this system.
Oh, right.
Other than that one.
7.28
Yeah.
TB.
And if I could have seen that back here, I would have known that. All right, so
Sorry,
then,
Not used to working.
Next.
with
all right, then going to,
I don't get a lot
Next.
of blind viewers.
I don't think, I usually don't have to do any of the selections here. I'm paying, let me pay attention. I didn't hear what you said at all. Copy selected partition as one click next.
When I click next, yeah.
Oh, when I click next.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I remove that check mark, it'll give me another summary screen. And I think it has remembered that default
So
from my prior choice.
All right, you've got the 3 partitions on the source file listed at the top
Yep.
are selected.
Yep.
There's not a whole disk button like Acronis has whole disk.
Well, yeah, but it's right here, but it's selected by default.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So I could do individual partitions
Acronis
if
is
I
the same.
wanted to.
Yep.
Okay, that's the
Okay.
same. I wish it said whole disk. I didn't notice that checkbox at all.
That checkbox, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
Because
find things to complain
the words
about.
whole disk is superfluous
Yeah.
if you have a checkbox.
Touche.
You started something you're going to regret.
That won't be the first time.
All right, next. And then, well, there was that
summary.
check mark to say start it, and I'm seeing the summary screen.
Go
Okay.
back. Go back. Oh, wait.
Yeah, we can
oh,
go-
you gotta hit finish, I think.
Yeah, well, that's the right thing to hit from here, but
See, it's not
that
intuitive.
check mark back here, shut up.
Yeah.
That check mark back here. Oh, no. It doesn't say it was going to start it. It says copy.
Copy selected,
Selected partitions.
when
So-
I click next.
Right, because the alternative to that would have been to click a button up here that exists somewhere that says copy partitions. So it would have copied these partitions down to this graphical representation so we could see what it's going to look like. Whereas if I didn't do that step, they save me a step by having this check mark. When I click next, it automatically copied these partitions down here. These sizes up here match identically to these sizes down here, even though it's visually different because this destination is so much larger.
What happens to the spare 6 terabytes that has no partition?
Oh, good question. I'm glad you asked that, Carrie.
And how come the whole disk isn't selected anymore? What happened?
No, well, I'm not needing to copy them down. They've already been copied down to this part. And then let's see.
It doesn't automatically resize for you?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You have to do that. And there's a place to do it right from here. Now, since I already did that selections, I don't think I have that option available. That's why I would want to copy these down here prior to letting it automatically copy the partitions if I know I need to resize something. So if I come up here to undo, that's going to undo it and put it back to its original state.
So it
Okay?
didn't actually do anything?
No, it
It's a
hasn't done anything
representation
yet.
of what it's going
To
look
do
like. Okay.
until I click that finish
That's not
button that
clear.
you saw. So then here we've got this selected for all of these.
Hold on a second. Before we go any further,
Yep.
I just want to make sure that people can see.
Oh,
We have
see what
camera
we're
one
showing?
in the corner.
Yeah,
I'm afraid it
for
may
all we
be
know, we've been hiding
overlapping.
things.
Yeah, I want to just double check.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. I was concerned about that. So we're missing just that top corner. I'm going to just reduce this down
see, which corner would be better?
Well, probably.
Maybe even the middle left.
Do you think here?
I'm thinking there.
No, because there's other screens that appear that led us to this.
But there's also bottom left that appears later. You could
we
turn
get
us
rid of
off for a little while, get rid of it for a little while.
You think they'll miss us?
No.
I think we could sit down and take a load off our feet, take a break,
Bye-bye.
Okay.
let them finish it.
Let me go full screen for us. There you go.
Oh,
Back
all
to
right.
George.
And back to my choice, do I look through the glasses or not?
Can you, out of curiosity, it's probably too late, but if you clicked on view up here, can you make it bigger? Or you'd probably have to close this out and start over.
All right, we can cancel that. I don't, let's see, view.
No.
Just
No.
refresh. Nothing.
What is it, what you want to make big? Oh, make the fonts and stuff bigger. I'm going to try Control Plus. Nope.
How about control and roll the mouse wheel up?
All right. Nope.
No.
Am I on the right keyboard? Yeah. I'm on, well,
Yeah, you want to be on the RTEC keyboard.
I don't know Artec from nothing.
Says
These are
Artec
black
on the top
keyboards.
left.
Oh, Artec. Okay. Yeah, that's for the Big Beast build. Yeah, Control
No, it's
mouse
not
wheel up isn't doing anything. Uh,
It's just a lot
Yeah.
of wasted real estate. You know, 2/3 of the screen is empty. It would be nice if their boot disk. So it's not a problem I have with Chrome. These were little niggles that
that was me trying to hit Carrie's hand,
I'm too quick. For you.
slap him on the back of the wrist. Since the camera wasn't
There's a
showing
one-
us, you didn't know that in the stream.
We'll keep knocking.
There's what?
There's a. I shouldn't show you
There's a what?
in this drawer.
Oh, your ruler. You can let me hit the back of your hand with a ruler.
I had a wooden one, but you know what? I must have moved it.
Wooden
I knew you
ruler.
were coming over, so I hit it.
You would, because you were planning to use it on me.
I like to be the only ruler. All right, so we're gonna do this again. So we're restoring.
Yeah, I
It
think.
says restore right here. I'm gonna help Doug.
Okay, we're on restore. Okay, click on restore there because we have the, here we're selecting the source, and then here we select the destination, and then it's this one here, isn't, oh, it's this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then these partitions are selected up here. If we copy partitions here, so that's going to copy the partitions that are on the top graphic to the bottom graphic to show what we're going to have.
But it's not actually copying. It's just showing what it's going to copy.
It's copying them to this proposed task.
To the task.
Yeah,
It's
to
not
the
actually
task
doing
that
it.
we're configuring. It's not actually going
It's
to
like a
copy
preview.
content. Right, it's a preview of what we're going to do. Now, here is what you want, is automatically extend to fill the target disk.
Why isn't that the default?
Because they don't know what you want? I don't know. Now, it might be the case that if I select that this time, it might remember that configuration next time I do it. I don't know.
All I'm saying is if I'm selecting whole disk, the engineer should have common sense to think that you're upgrading and replacing a drive. Why would I only want to fill an 8 terabyte drive with 2 terabytes of data and then leave the rest unpartitioned and unformatted? It doesn't make logical sense. Now, if I'm selecting individual partitions,
It does, actually, it does make logical sense.
oh, I can't wait to hear it.
Because I don't want to fill it all.
Why wouldn't you?
Because I want to have a partition on that drive, logical drive F. Because that's how my software is configured to store my video files on the F drive.
That's what, a secondary drive now, and then you're going to combine it?
In my current computer, the two
But
SSDs.
do you think that's a common choice?
No.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
why it should be the default if all disk is selected.
Yeah, and if they wanted to make Carrie happy.
If they wanted to just make common sense. Sorry,
Yeah, if they wanted to make Carrie happy.
there is no such thing as Carrie.
Amen to that, brother.
So then, for me, in this case, I don't want to extend to fill the target disk, and I don't actually want exact partitions, but I'm going to choose that for now, and that's going to copy it down this way. Then I'm going to click on this partition.
Okay.
And this is a newer version than the last time I did it. There should be a place here to modify or layout. I think that's it right there, layout. What does that one say where I'm pointing to?
Float right.
Okay, so that's probably going to fill it up to, oh, that moves
Oh,
it to
it
the
moves
right.
the part. Well, it would
Oh,
have
that's
been,
curious.
makes sense if it said move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I have this one selected, then I'm going to do layout. And yeah, so here this is showing the C partition, right?
That's, I don't know. No, that can't be. It's too small.
Okay, what is this
This says
size?
auto, this says none, and this says system reserved. So this is the largest part.
Oh, that's the C
the
drive.
biggest one. is
Okay,
your
so I do want to move this one to the right. So float right, because I want to extend this one. And then layout. So this is the only one that can be extended.
This is so intuitive, Doug.
So when I click, well, it's a sophisticated high capability program, which kind of
It's
puts
intuitive to a
restricts
sophisticated,
to
high
intuitive.
capability person.
It's such as me, not
There
you.
go. Perfect.
Ouch.
Now we can
I gotta
agree.
step away when I say something like that. So what I'm wondering here is if I click on layout, is it going to offer me this one to change since I have that selected right now? I think it shouldn't, because it should be, this is the only one that really can be changed or extended anyway. So let's see what that does. Yeah, that's giving me the one that I had selected at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay. So it means you select the one that you want to make a change to and go to layout. And then you can just take this
Drag it.
edge and drag it, get that double-headed arrow. Whoops, nope, that moves the whole thing. I want the double, that one.
There you go.
Kaboom shabang.
What was that?
What's a technical term? You haven't heard of it?
What is it?
Kaboom shabam.
What does that stand for?
It's an old saying that he
it's
just
like-
made up.
It's like bada boom, bada bing.
Bing.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, now you're
You understand
talking.
it now?
Now you're speaking.
You understand that one?
I
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Capiche.
All right,
So now,
Gesundheit.
now okay.
all right.
I
Then,
thought it was like
okay,
K-Mac
here.
yo-yo.
So will this increase the volume if I slide that one up?
The volume of what?
Just seeing if you're paying attention.
Okay.
No, I can't
No.
afford
So
that.
what does this do? Oh, this is changing,
Before and
I don't know what that's
after.
doing.
What is the
Before gigabytes?
Before
Megabytes?
GB, MB, megabytes, before, and then after gigabytes, after megabytes.
I don't think this
Yeah.
matters.
Doesn't make
Did
any
those
sense.
sliders change? Yeah, those sliders changed when I did this.
Okay.
So I think I probably could have changed that by doing this.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Same
Okay.
thing. Gotcha.
And then here, maybe it changes the left
Or you
side?
could just hit maximum size, maybe? The button at the very bottom says.
Yeah, I'm sure, if I could read it,
Yeah, maximum, you're on.
right there.
Yep.
So then if I, whoops, take this back down, because there's 6 ways to do anything on computers.
Yep.
It does it.
That does it.
All right,
So it's changing it from 243, 243.15 is the minimum. That's the amount of data,
yeah.
which wouldn't
Now-
work with a swap file. That would be a Windows crash.
Now, there should be people in the chat room yelling at me right now saying, that's what you said you didn't want to do, because you want to have room for an F
Well, I
drive.
wasn't going to say anything.
Can't.
You just want to see if I was paying attention
No, I thought you were succumbing to my,
to your will?
Yeah.
Your will?
but I guess that was superfluous.
Yeah.
So right now you have it on 3 terabytes.
Okay, so my C drive, I really don't want it to contain a lot of data. I like for it to be mainly operating system and programs and input data elsewhere, and I'm already configured for that data to be F drive. So, and because I have other visions for things that I might be doing with that huge storage vastness, expanse,
Expanse is good.
universe.
Capaciousness.
Yeah, I was going to say capriciousness. That's totally a different meaning.
Capacious.
Capacious. That's spacious.
And I just added ness on the end of it, which
Okay.
may be a word.
Okay.
Capaciousness.
Are there more syllables you can add to the end of that?
They'd be superfluous.
Yeah.
Superfluous.
Say that word 3 times in a
yeah.
row.
I have a hard time saying it once.
All right. So
How big do you want the C drive to be? You're at
See, 1 terabyte is going to be plenty for it.
Well, you're at 1.14.
Now, if I want 1 terabyte, why not do it the easy way? Come down here and just put in the number
you're
for
in the
it.
wrong place.
Yeah, this.
Well, but gigabyte, you're at 1,000 something 69, but it shows 1.04 at the top. Those don't line up.
Yeah. 1.04 TB.
Terabyte.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but that's not going to be 1,4 megabytes because there's 1,024.
No, it's not 1.4. It's 104. 1.04. So you're at
1.04 terabytes. So I'm pretty close to what I want there.
Okay.
But now none of these fields actually show read in terabytes, do they?
No, they show gigabytes.
They show gigabytes or-
the 1.04.
So this shows. Is that showing gigabytes and remainder megabytes?
Yes.
This says 1059 and this says 318.
Okay. Well, if we get this megabyte side
59 or 60?
to 0, type a 0, Doug. Okay. Then over here, just type in 1,024.
Oh, I see.
Got it.
I'm
Okay.
going to do it the easy way.
So that gets us 1 terabyte.
Now you jump to 7450.
All right. Because the number 1 looks like a 7.
But it's not where the 7's located. Next
Well, I typed a 1, but the computer 1 looks like a 7.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And then you still have megabytes in there.
And so I'll tab over there and 0. Now I should have 1,024 gigabytes
Correct.
It's correct.
Correct.
and 0 megabytes. And then on the top side, does it actually show 1.0 terabytes? Does it show?
No, it shows 1024 gigabytes. It
Oh,
shows
okay. And but in the blank space, that reads as terabytes, doesn't it?
6.28?
The unused 6.28 terabytes.
Yes.
All right. Then, okay. Now,
Okay.
I did not bring an image of my F drive. I don't need to restore an image of that. It's just storage folders. I can easily just create the F drive and recreate those folders and
Sure.
start from here and move forward.
Yeah, 'cause
I
it's
may
not a
or may
boot
not
drive,
wind
that's
up.
no big deal.
Yeah. So now we have this
This has taken
configured.
a very long time.
Because I'm teaching you.
You're trying.
It takes a while.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, then next. And
what,
then finish.
Finish means
So,
Start the
to
job.
start the job.
right.
Yeah.
So we've laid out everything we wanted to do when it's
Uh-huh.
done.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we want it to look.
Uh-huh.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, because now how would Carrie have preferred this button to be named?
Well, look,
proceed-
partition
pro-
magic
proceed-
back in the day.
I shut up about that. What do you
Work.
want that button to say?
Start.
Yes, I agree.
Not finish.
I agree.
It's not finished. It's
I
starting.
agree. That's why I
Proceed.
didn't
I
want
don't
you to
know
go.
how to respond to somebody who agrees with me.
I didn't want you to go through that whole explanation because I knew I was going to agree with what you said. That button is poorly named.
These are much of the instructions. This is my issue with Mac Rereader. You are absolutely vindicating what I said before we started.
Okay, but I could
It's
go.
not intuitive.
I could go through the same thing with you over a Cronus
Well,
and point out the
do
things
have
to
another
you.
Day? And we'll
And frankly, I've seen that with every software program I've ever dealt with.
But a lot of
There's
this is
always
automated
criticisms.
and I think it's phrased better. Look, it's not a perfect product. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
It's
but
got-
that was my problem with the Cronus where it was automated and I wanted to do things different.
But you can still do
think.
that. It just gets more complicated.
Yeah, but I had struggled to find where it was. So I find, depending upon the perspective a person's coming from, they
Wait a
can
minute, are you
struggle with a
Coke drinker
program.
or a Pepsi drinker?
You don't know that already?
Which is it?
Pepsi.
That's the problem.
Pepsi.
See? That's the problem. And
Pepsi.
You have an Apple computer too, don't you?
I do.
Oh, jeez, what?
I have an iPhone.
Get out.
You know what this is?
The finger?
Yeah.
See, the camera's not on.
I know the
Yeah.
camera's not on, so you could be saying it.
So hit finish.
I was showing him my
Okay.
iWatch.
Okay.
Apple Watch.
Apple Watch.
Yeah, because
It's not
everybody
an
needs a
iWatch.
watch now. It's not like your phone has the time or your car has the time. And every building you walk into has the time, and your oven has the time. The time is everywhere. What do
Could
you
we
ever
read the
watch?
screen, please?
The following drives will be overwritten.
C drive.
C drive.
Yeah.
All target volume data
Data
will be overwritten, confirmed to proceed. That should be
Or
bolder.
continue or cancel.
Well, it won't let you, do, oh, wait a minute,
That's why it should
that
be
isn't
bold.
grayed out. It's not grayed out, but I don't think it'll let us do it. So if I don't check that and I click continue, yeah, it's, this is,
That's completely unnecessary if they grayed it out. There's an extra
Yeah.
dialogue that didn't need to
Okay.
be there.
I'll go on record with, I agree with the things that you've been pointing
It's
out,
just common
that they should be done better. The problem with these software programs, not one of them, not a single one of them has ever contacted you or me when they designed their programs.
They did.
They did?
Yeah.
You refused to talk to them?
I talked to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They said they take my comments under consideration and they appreciate my feedback.
Oh, yeah, that form letter.
No, they actually said it to me.
Really?
Person, eye to eye.
What software maker? Oh, he is
Let's
fighting,
just-
his face is cringing.
Let's just say no decisions can be made by an individual at a corporation. It all has to go to committee.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it doesn't matter what point I make to an individual.
Yeah.
Unless I am speaking to the committee and I can show them a financial reason to listen to me,
Why don't you turn the camera back on?
I was enjoying the animosity.
Anonymity.
No.
So now,
Anonymity.
when this,
right, the first
Anonymity.
so now when this is done, will you have your C drive will be here?
Yeah, I can boot
Just
on my
a
computer,
computer.
my computer. It is my computer.
Yeah. So it'll be just like home.
Yeah, except I don't, my streaming software won't work correctly right away because I haven't created those folders.
Right.
Costanza, the mage says, I'm enjoying this remake of Grumpy Old Man. I got a feeling, I think I'm the youngest person here, so, but I'm also the grumpiest, so it just goes to show you, you
Right.
can be a grumpy young man.
Right.
Ah,
You
Luke,
want to scroll through the chat?
Luke. He finds the software too confusing. Oh, my glasses are all smudged. Smurmudgeon. That didn't help.
Oh, I have a,
Give him the eyeglass.
Google Eyes says, just get on with it. It's not rocket science. Well, rocket scientists do use computers.
but it's rocket surgery.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's a
Yeah.
microfiber. if you
Microfiber,
want.
yeah.
Here you guys.
Oh, thank you. I'll just rub harder with that. Tony, haha, Macrium reflects same complexity of Clonezilla, though Linux native file systems can resize on the fly if I'm going from small to big. GM, it's only confusing because you have not used the software. I agree with that. And when somebody's explaining stuff, because if you're just go in, when I just go in and do a task, it's very quick because I'm not explaining, I'm not doing any alternatives. Stan, if I lose the blue, oh, okay, that's not specific to what we're talking about. I never realized how much I've forgotten about Macrium from Jonathan. And I just upgraded to their newer version, so I was a few versions behind, and there were a few differences. Just my opinion, but the software is far too confusing. From Luke, Arnold, LOL, Doug saying it's taking a long time because I'm teaching you. Hey, enjoyed that. So did I.
It's still moving along pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's a
Yeah.
that's a pretty good pace there.
Well, we got better. It's faster now because well, let's see. No, when we did the backup, we were doing through that same enclosure,
Yeah,
right?
but we weren't moving 200 gigs. Now we are.
We were using that enclosure,
Mhm.
yeah. But well, I think to Mitch's point is it looks like it's going to be competing pretty closely,
Yeah.
which
Took
it
6
should take
minutes.
longer. Yeah, it took 6 minutes with
Yeah,
that
this
little
should
tiny
take-
partition.
This should take at least 20,
Yeah,
just based on the amount of data.
mm-hmm.
But I didn't notice the clock when we started.
Yeah, I didn't either. You could rewind the video and use the
Yeah,
DVR
people
mode.
at home watching can do it. I'm not going to do that.
It's
So,
cool.
so you know, I should have you appear as a guest host. You want to just come by every weekend?
Oh,
Just hop on over?
yeah,
You could fly. There's an airport right down the street.
I don't fly anymore. I sold my plane.
Scottsdale Airport.
Let me say this about that.
Charter a flight.
No.
Well, one good earthquake and just take a vote.
Then we'll be neighbors.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no?
Yeah, no. We could do something.
He likes
Virtually.
he likes
no, I'm not coming.
He likes Fresno, not Phoenix. Phoenix.
Yeah, that's right. Our city names start with the same first letter,
Yeah. okay.
phonetically.
Yeah.
You know, if you tried to spell phonetically, you'd probably spell it wrong.
Too many syllables.
Hook
Yeah.
ed on Honix, work ed for me.
Okay, well, it sounds like maybe it's time to tell you my nickname
Oh,
for this computer.
I thought it was for you. Do you have a nickname?
I'll give you one.
No, I have a nickname for this
We
computer.
already gave him.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, there's
okay.
that other story about about my name. Yeah, but this about now I got my attention. So you called this the Big Beast build
Because
because
it's a big
it's a
beast
big
of a
beast
build.
of a build.
It was very creative of me, wasn't
Yeah, yeah. So now that of course was an advanced over the Beast.
Well, the beast was
My-
nothing compared to the big beast. I've already done the beast.
It wasn't nothing. It was a thing.
But
It
compared
wasn't
to this,
no thing. It
Compared
was
to this,
it
it was
was much smaller and less capable.
it was superfluous
Yeah.
compared to this.
You're superfluous.
I've been told that before. That's what my mom said.
Did you know what it meant then? When you were told
It actually didn't happen. I was being
you were
sarcastic.
being facetious.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
I don't like the word facetious. It's got feces in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, moving on.
It does. You can't spell facetious without feces.
Okay. My nickname. Beautiful Black Bet's Birthday Big Beast build.
That's 7 B's.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Think that's beautiful?
Yeah.
That's
Beast.
okay. That works for you as a nickname?
It's beyond beautiful. There's 2 more B's.
Nickname's supposed to, I don't know if anybody told you, but it's supposed to be the nick of a name, not the full name. So it's awfully wordy as a, so what would its full name, if that's the nickname, I can't wait to hear what its full
The
name.
legal name
Oh, the legal
is
name.
Big Beast build.
I see.
My
See-
nickname for it, Beautiful Black Bet's Birthday Big Beast build.
Junior.
I don't think you understand what a nickname is. It's like
Very
Doug
short,
is
yeah.
usually a
Yeah.
nickname for Douglas, or Pat for Patrick, or
Okay,
Pat
so
for
let
Alex
me
for
use this to illustrate. Let's suppose you had a wife named Joan. 1 syllable, right?
But that's
Your name for her could be Honey. That has 2 syllables. It's longer than the actual name.
I don't think she'd want me calling her what I call the waitress.
That starts with a
That's
B.
gonna start a
It
fight.
starts with a B, all right?
How about the acronym
Of
of Beautiful Black Bet's Birthday Big Beast build?
just a lot of B's.
BB, BB, BBB.
I think that's a droid in Star
I
Wars.
tried it as BBBBB, but I couldn't keep track of when do I reach 7. So then I figured if I do it kind of rhythmically,
I
the
think
B,
you
the B, B, B,
You
B.
spent a lot of time on this.
You think I spent too much time thinking about this?
Sounds
Yeah.
like Morse code. All right.
Is this something that Kerry Holzman would ever spend too much time thinking about a trivial topic that he shouldn't spend that much time on?
Oh, yeah. I answered for him. All right.
That's a hallmark
somebody's at the
character
Yeah.
personality trait of people like us.
Well, it's almost done.
Okay,
for
now,
200
hey,
gigs.
the people. Oh, there we go. There we go. Squirrel. Okay,
It's Friday, everybody.
we got squirrel qualified.
Okay.
I've been resisting confirming to the audience on my channel that I'm buying this. They've asked several times, "Are you buying
Now,
it?"
what's up
I
with
tell
that?
that'd be a wonderful computer to have and all that, and I won't confirm it. That's because the birthday part of this was purchased when Doug originally talked to you. This was going to be a surprise birthday present for myself.
How do you surprise yourself with a birthday present?
I can do that because one of the
You
other
just stop taking
Dougs,
some pills?
one of the other Dougs collaborated and conspired
How many
to
Dougs?
buy this for me.
Well, I did see, what, was there 4 or 5 Dougs?
There were 5 at the planning
5?
retreat.
Did you see his video where he put 5 of himself in the same room and had a conversation with himself?
How long have you been on medication?
Not on medication.
Oh, not
That's
on
the thing, not on medication.
All right.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Dougs, but they conspired to buy this as a surprise birthday present. So I couldn't confirm it live on my channel, because if I confirmed it, that would have spoiled the surprise. Because then I would know that I was buying it for myself.
Do we have to be worried about any of these Dougs? They then go out at night and murder children like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Only if you're in a room alone with me.
In a full moon. All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
so
Yeah.
there you go.
Just about done. This show, not the computer.
both.
Both.
Brain overload, I see something in the background. Oh, there's 2 chat windows.
Well, it's the same chat room. It's
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
The problem is when
Because
we bring
I'm
up
a-
the YouTube channel chat room, that's why I need 2 monitors, basically.
Yeah.
Tony contributes $10. He goes, "To you guys are killing me. I got to tip. We're going to be here all week. Tip your, what is it?"
Try the veal. All right. Yeah, that's from Shrek. Shrek.
Well, no, it was before that. That's an old comedian line.
Right.
All right.
Okay, so how this got a little while. I don't know how long we've been. I hope somebody can tell us in the chat room. Well, the thing will tell us how long
Oh,
it took.
somebody wiki ghost.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, where did it go? I just scrolled past.
Well, do a Control F, type the word ghost.
Oh, well, if you want to do it the easy way.
Yes.
Jesus, people with,
They're
Brains.
demands. Yeah.
what do you call them?
Brains.
Brains with an M. Brains.
Norton Ghost, when Norton was making good product. That's not it. What's,
Then just click the down arrow to go to the next
find the
one.
mouse.
Old school. Imaging DOS.
Yeah, here's the Wikipedia.
All right. Ghost. Ghost disk utility. Does it give us the acronym somewhere?
An acronym for General Hardware-Oriented System Transfer. What did I say?
General hardware.
Oriented.
I think I said software transfer.
Right.
I said
Maybe.
system transfer.
There's another big
They
word
got it
there.
wrong.
There's another big word there if you want to add another one below it. Disambiguation.
Yeah.
Isn't that something we should be accomplishing on our channels? Disambiguate things?
I try. I do try. All right, it says it's done.
So
Oh,
now.
all right.
So now what?
All right, let me go full screen so we can read it.
Okay.
Does it tell us how much time it took?
Yeah.
5 minutes?
And it gives us this window up here. When we do the restore, it gives us this summary window. When we did the backup, it didn't give us a summary window. 12 minutes. I think
That was
you
quick.
pretty much said 12 minutes, didn't
12.
you?
For 200 gig?
Yeah. Well, I said 200 gig earlier. What was it? I actually didn't.
I thought
wasn't
it was over
saying
200
that.
gig, just a little over.
Yeah.
For the main partition. Or actually, I was looking at the file size, remember when I was pointing
Yeah,
out
the file size. So, but the partition graphic up here, I can't read whether
But
that's
you're just looking at the C,
213
you're not including the other partitions.
well,
Those take up space too.
yeah, okay, so does it show a total somewhere?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I think
Okay.
I think somewhere on that summary screen
I
it showed
can be
somewhere.
prophetic sometimes, it's scary.
Yeah,
It's tough knowing everything, especially when I make it all up. Just making stuff
what
up.
percentage of your statistics do you make up?
All of them,
Okay,
statistically
but
speaking.
I'm asking, so that would mean 100. If you would have answered my question like a technician would, literally, you would said 100% instead of all of them.
I'm an
I asked you what
anti.
percentage.
I'm an anti-tech.
You're the anti-tech,
I'm the anti-tech.
and you were talking about prophecy earlier too?
Not prophecy, prophetizing.
Oh, profit. All right. Now, okay, so we're not done in here. We probably would be superfluous to do the restore to dissimilar hardware, but
What?
I'd like to show that
Yeah, I'd like, here. here's the
capability.
mouse. Here, I'll
Okay.
take this mouse away.
So I got the right mouse. So now I'm doing, I was out with my brother Stan this morning flying his drone, doing backwards controls. So right now I got the mouse pointed away from the screen and trying to do the controls. So click OK there. And then click close on this one. And the thing I particularly like about this restore to dissimilar hardware is that it's so quick. I think
So
it's
how do you do that? You click
on restore.
Restore
and then-
to new hardware, first option.
That right there?
Wait, what does it
No,
say?
I don't think so.
No, it says something else. I can't read
It
it.
says something else. Is it other tools? Restore.
Something in new hardware. Can't read it. So deploy in new
Deploy
hardware.
and deploy to new hardware. That's it.
Here,
I was using the
Carrie,
word
you need your
dissimilar. but
glasses?
that- No, the screen's just not good
I don't know
enough.
if the glasses are going to be good.
It's just, yeah, that's it. Deploy
Deploy,
to,
redeploy to new hardware. Is that what it says? Click it.
is that RE in parentheses?
It looks like it says red.
I think it's redeploy. Okay,
Redeploy. Okay, that's
Yeah,
what I saw.
redeploy.
Red. I wasn't wrong. It said red. R-E-D. Red
Okay.
deploy is what I
all
saw.
right. So now, but one of the things here is if you were going to be deploying to and wanted to install, add other
Like a
drivers, you
RAID
could do
driver,
that here.
a
Yeah,
Controller driver.
yeah.
But this should be a standard.
Automatically
RAID
check removable media. If no drivers are found,
Yeah,
ignore all
removable
floppy
media.
drives. Okay, so then we just click next. And
Standard NVMe Express
yeah, okay.
or NVM.
Intel
Express.
chipset, SATA RAID controller.
We're not
It
using
said these are set drives to devices to be installed to the operating system. I don't think we need to do anything
It's
here,
just
but
default.
it's just interesting that those are showing. And then next, and then there's some options you could do on here if you wanted them. Disable reboot on system stop. Okay, and allow Windows to detect hardware abstraction layer. I don't think I'd really look through these and evaluate.
So
I'd just
disable
click through
reboot
them.
on system stop would be if the system goes to boot after you restored it to
Yeah.
similar hardware, you get a blue screen.
Blue screen, you wanna
and
be
the
able to
blue
read it.
screen goes away so
Right.
because it automatically reboots.
So this is here by default because we'd want to see that.
If that happens.
If
you want
that
the freeze.
happens.
Yeah.
We don't expect that to happen. Of course, it's not going to happen. Allow Windows to detect hardware
it's
abstractions.
superfluous.
Yeah. So, and it's no point to reading this either, which is what you meant by superfluous. So next,
Well, I think explaining that was superfluous.
you did, and it was superfluous for me to make comment about it.
Disable automatic reboot, detect hardware extraction layer, perfect.
So here we got another
So
button
this
that
is
you.
called the what? Hardware extraction layer. What's the acronym that this is referred to in Windows?
I got no idea.
Dave, I'm afraid I can't do that. This is the HAL. If you get a HAL error, that's
Yeah.
a hardware abstraction layer error.
Oh,
But
okay.
usually Windows refers to it as HAL.
All right. And then
That's one letter away from I. What's the letter
Yeah.
before H? I'm sorry, what's the letter after H?
I,
What's the letter after A?
B,
What's the letter after L?
M.
What do those three letters spell?
I've got no idea because I had lost track.
What's the letter after H?
I,
What's the letter after A?
B,
What's the letter after L?
M, IBM. All right.
That's how they got the name HAL in 2001.
Oh,
Space Odyssey.
because they just.
There's a little trivia
all right.
for you from completely useless trivia.
Yeah, that's going to give me a headache to know
Hey, that's
that.
gonna win a bar trivia contest next week.
Okay, so here, but here's another occurrence of that button you don't like. It says finish.
Okay.
So click finish, and redeploy process complete. It's just that quick
Okay.
to do it. And then reboot. So this should reboot, most likely to the boot drive unless the CMOS has it set up to as a preferential to boot to a USB, but I'll pull that out as it's rebooting, which is my habit. So there we are in reboot, and unplug those.
Okay, so now we just wait for the system to restart.
And it'll,
Turn camera 2 or camera 1 back on since the audience is just seeing. Oh, well, never mind. It's already started.
and this will be your C drive.
Yeah,
Or his BIOS. Okay, that was not expected.
Nah.
Just hit escape, quit without saving, and let it restart again. See if it does it twice in a row. If it does twice in a row, that means that the disk is not bootable.
Now,
Yeah,
what?
so it's not bootable.
Okay.
Or, wait a minute, let's check our boot options.
Yeah, secure boot.
Wrong mouse, I need this mouse.
Expand that?
Configuration.
Was secure boot already expanded?
Um,
Because there was a. There's that expand thing there? Is it
It's
already?
not clicking. You do it this way.
Looks like boot. Secure boot state is enabled right there. Up higher.
You want me to disable it?
Yeah.
It's not an option. Here, maybe not. It's not allowing me to disable it. But let me just try this just to see if that fixed it. I don't know why the BIOS would have changed. It's riveting, isn't it?
We've had a lot of dead air.
Not acceptable. Is it going to boot this time or what?
I don't see a spinny circle.
No, it's trying to boot to something and it can't find anything to boot to. We look at our boot
Hmm.
options. I don't know if fast boot matters. Boot configuration. I don't see boot options.
Drive configuration?
Where do you see that?
I'm asking you to go there.
Oh, it's normally secure boot.
Clear subvert. Okay.
I don't think there was anything in there anyway.
You did clear the secure boot keys, I suspect?
Just now.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
think
I
they were
would. I
already
didn't catch
clear.
it. Okay.
But where's my drive options, my boot options?
Do you advanced? So you're on main now. Extreme tweaker, no, advanced. I would think it'd be in there. Bless you. Oh, RAID. SATA mode selection RAID.
Yeah, but we're not using SATA though, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
NVMe. Where's our NVMe drive? That's all set up. There it is. I mean, it sees it. That should make no difference. It just seems to not be a bootable disk.
Okay, why would that be?
That's a good question. I don't know macro and reflect well to answer that. If it was a Cronus, we would be happy.
Uh-huh.
Poke, poke.
Yes, poke. I feel poked.
Poke.
I feel poked.
It looked like it it's trying to boot to something and then it gives up and it goes into the BIOS. Let's turn fast boot off. Well, this is a puzzle.
Which is what makes it fun.
Well, I wonder if the restored to dissimilar hardware broke the bootable thing. Maybe if we didn't use
We could
that.
try again without doing
That's
that.
what I'm thinking.
See, yeah. Because I don't have a lot of experience with using that dissimilar hardware. I've only started experimenting with it, and this was something I thought would be a prime candidate to experiment with that.
Sure.
But I think it's probably not needed. Well, one of the things that I'm unsure of, maybe you know something about this, is that that ID code. I can't remember what to call it. That ID code that's unique to each computer. When you clone from one computer to another, you can't have them both coming up with the same.
On a network, that's where you.
Yeah.
You're talking about I dealt with that on Windows XP. I don't really think it's been in.
And then the other thing that I would like for that dissimilar hardware redeploy to whatever that wording is, I keep calling it dissimilar hardware. What I'd like it to do is slightly modify the computer name. Because I do have a client coming up that I'm expecting to be installing a bunch of new computers for them. I'd like to create a standard image for the office and just restore them to each of the new computers. But I'd like for that to include changing the computer name and be sure they're unique IDs.
Windows
But
does that.
shut up. I'm thinking Mac Green Reflect probably does too,
It probably does.
but I don't
yeah,
know.
I mean, it's like a Ford Chevy argument at this
Yeah,
point. They're
I think
so
so.
similar.
That is often the case.
But you know what's interesting is I don't see a boot option here. See, it says boot option priorities and boot override.
No, I'm not keeping up with your mouse movements quick
Well,
enough. So
between
I'm-
these two, you see where I'm blinking here? Between these two?
Native secure boot NVMe driver
It's like it doesn't see a
support
bootable
is
drive.
on secure boot. Should you be able to move to those other options if the
Yes.
drive were functioning right?
Well, unless there's only one boot option, but I would think it would still
Boot
show me,
option
but it doesn't. It does not.
Well, let's try doing the restore again and see if we get different results.
It's pretty interesting. In fact, if I choose exit and we save it, and then we do, what is it, F8 to get our boot options? All right, I just loaded optimized defaults by mistake. That's all right. Exit. What am I picking? Wrong one.
What's the alternative to optimized defaults? Isn't there another defaults? Safe defaults or standard
anymore.
defaults?
That
Not
was
anymore?
10 years ago.
That's, oh, okay. I'm older than you.
Everybody's older than me. I'm the young whippersnapper in this group. Now I just need to hang around people that are fatter too, and I'll feel thinner. Younger and thinner. That's how you do it. You don't need diet or exercise. You just need to hang around people
Different
that are
people.
older and fatter. You only fit one of those requirements. So that doesn't show a boot device at all. That's new. I mean, it booted
Well,
before you messed with it.
well, yeah, but this goes back to your suspicion about that redeployed to new hardware.
I would still think it would see the
Cause an
drive.
issue.
It's like it doesn't even see it.
Well, it saw the drive in the BIOS. It's just not seeing it as a boot device.
But how would it know if it's a boot device until I tried to boot from it? It should show me every device that's potentially bootable, and it's not showing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, that sounds like a drive configuration
It seems that way.
in the
doesn't it?
BIOS. Yeah. So is this configured as AHCI?
Doesn't
rather
matter
than
because
RAID?
That's a SATA setting. We're dealing with NVMe, which shouldn't.
Never has. Well, now wait, no, NVMe can have a RAID setting. You showed
That's
that recently.
true. That's true, but that was located in, down here.
That's where NVMe configuration. What does that show? PCIe SSD, cell test, run device cells test, controller only test. So, why? Okay, self test action controller only. What's the alternative?
I don't normally mess with any of that stuff.
Yeah. What's the alternative there? Controller and namespace.
I don't think this is the issue. I
All
think the issue would probably be,
Well, my only interest there would does the self test see the device?
well, I mean, it does see the device because we are seeing it,
We're seeing it there as an 8 terabyte. All right.
but, you know, NVMe configuration, wait, let's go back. That's fine. Here's what I was looking for.
Source selection. We are in advanced onboard devices configuration in advanced M.2 PCIe source selection. What's the alternatives on that option? PCIe X41. Is that a version of the NVMe?
PCI Express 4,
Yeah.
that should be the mode of the PCI Express slots. So
What-
does this have 3 PCI Express slots? 2 running at by 16 and 1 running by 4? And then the other one is M.2, and this one specifically highlights slot number 2. This has more than 1 slot. And then the CPU PCIe configuration modes. So I think all that's just fine.
All right.
Unless I'm misinterpreting it. It says down below, PCIe Express 4, the bandwidth comes, it's just it's sharing the bandwidth with M2.2, if we're using M2.2. If PCI Express 4.1 is populated, then M2 number 2 will be disabled. Now the bandwidth of M2 number 2 comes from the PCH, and it's shared with PCI Express 4-1. If the M.2-2 is populated, then the PCI Express 4-1 will be disabled. Well, this was booting before, so that's clearly not.
Yeah. How about we take a quick look in the chat room? There might be some idiots.
I was going to recommend the same thing. Save and exit. And let's go to the chat. Hi,
Oh.
chat room, we can see you again.
They're having a conversation about some abuse that was going on. We're not looking for that.
We didn't see it, thank goodness.
Yeah, get down to the newest.
Try booting to Macrium Rescue Media and click on Fix Boot Problem.
Yes, there's
That's
an
an
option.
option?
That's an option in there. Absolutely, good one. Who said that?
That was said by John Lewis.
John Lewis. Good call. Only a pilot would go over our heads from Robert Jones. Fix boot problems again from Scopio. Yeah.
So this is the guy, I saw you had problems with this guy in your chat room. I'm not going to say his name, but you know who I'm talking about. You've been way too kind to that person, in my opinion. And I guess because you're here, they came here, and they got themselves banned because what you let them get away with in your chat room,
Oh,
I don't let them.
yeah,
They're way
yeah.
nicer than me. Let's be clear. Doug is, just in case you didn't know, Doug is way nicer than me. He tolerates stuff I won't tolerate.
Even if I don't seem nicer to him.
What? Are you totally way nicer than me?
Oh.
It's obvious. I just want people to know that I know.
I think we should go do that.
Okay. Well, you know,
Let's go
we
do
could
that.
just try turning it off and back on again.
Yeah, we haven't done a cold
I
start.
mean, isn't that the first rule of all
Yeah.
tech work?
Yeah,
Want to try it, Mitch?
You just press and hold the power
press and
button?
hold until it shuts off. Should be about 10 seconds. Oh, not even. And then go ahead and, well, wait a second here. XROD 666 with a $10 contribution. You gotta love how computers can throw them curveballs at you sometimes. Well, and I will say, much like the expression, too many chefs in the kitchen ruin the, what's the expression?
souffle? Spoil the
soup.
souffle?
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks in the kitchen spoil the soup. Anyway, if one technician works on a problem by his or herself, it is generally less stressful than having somebody else looking over your shoulder, let alone two people looking over your shoulder. You know, it gets to me in the chat room sometimes where sometimes chat room suggestions are dead on, but I find a lot of the time they're just distracting. So working together as a team in diagnostics when there's so many different opinions and experience is, for me, a harder challenge than whatever the problem is.
Turn it back on.
Yeah, go ahead, let's see what happens. Check if all the partitions are present, suggests Jose. Jim wants me to enable compatibility support mode. I don't think that should matter. That should be like if we're booting to some old legacy device, I believe. Doug would have been better off setting this computer up at home without any interference, said another Doug. Is that another one of your Dougs?
Oh, Doug Holes. No, I don't recognize that name.
But that's, where's the fun in that if we can't share the experience?
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan says, too many cooks spoil the broth. That's it. I said soup.
Okay.
I was close. What is soup without broth?
No soup for you. All right.
I got a feeling it's something else. All
Okay,
right, so let's put your flash on.
Yeah,
Go ahead and turn
couple
it back
people.
off.
Turn it back off.
Oh, well, we wanted to see if it would come up. Did it?
Didn't.
It didn't.
Oh,
We're looking
okay.
right at
So
it right
go
now.
ahead and turn it off.
Yeah,
All right.
turn it on. Thank you, man. Now turn it back on.
Now turn it
Now,
back.
since that's the only bootable device,
Okay.
Yeah, it should go
it should
straight
just
to
go
it.
A watched pot never boils. That's a completely different, what are those called?
Saying?
Well, I mean, it's a saying. It's,
Cliches.
it's not a cliche.
There's another word for it.
It's not a wives' tale. I guess you can't even say that word anymore. It's a,
Somebody should give us the word that we're struggling for.
superfluous.
Yeah.
No.
Doug's backup only seemed to have 3 partitions. The original install had 4. I don't know what that suggests. Well, it suggests that Doug's computer was not in AHCI mode, is what that suggests. That could be a problem.
That could be.
You were probably in, what's the other one?
Well, RAID or
When you're in a BIOS,
ID
your BIOS mode is either UEFI or Legacy.
legacy.
So it was probably in Legacy. 3 partitions is Legacy, 4 partitions is UEFI. Idiom. Don Adam got it. It's an idiom.
All right, there you go.
Ryan Wonderful contributes $2 Canadian. Says, hi, Doug, Carrie, and Mitch, and chat.
Well, then, can we switch this to legacy mode, BIOS, and see if it'll boot? Because if we do another restore, we're still going to have the same problem, aren't we?
Macrium should handle this automatically. Let's try one more thing.
Well, I think that fixed boot problems. I'm wondering if that might fix the legacy versus UEFI. No, you want to say no. Other tasks and then fix boot problems. Fix our network config. edit default screen resolution, keyboard layout.
Well,
None,
screen resolution, why are we messing around? We couldn't.
Oh.
That's what I was looking for. Oh,
there's no alternatives.
Oh, never mind. Oh, wonderful. Just more
All right.
features of Macrium.
Go to restore, see if the fix is there. Yeah, second one, second option, fix Windows boot problems. PCI description column.
That's it.
Yeah, but next. FAT32LB, that's the SanDisk. The active partition is loaded from the master boot record. Yeah, go back. Select the first one. Yeah, the first one is, that says D:\Windows. Because we're booted off of, it's just assigned a logical D on this Macrium Reflect. All right, so next, primary partition drive letter. Why is it showing the
What's the size?
This says SanDisk Cruiser Force 14.32 gigabytes.
Select.
Which partition your PC should boot from? We don't want to boot from any of those.
It says disk 1, but it won't let me.
That
click on
shows, let's see, we have add, edit, ignore, search. Each installation of Windows should be listed here. It is. When you click on it, we have the options of edit. Let's look at edit. Windows version, path to Windows. Show the drop down of versions. It is Windows 10 is right, so click OK. And when you click the next button, it shows us that SanDisk. Oh, now wait a minute. So we just don't put a check mark here. The active partition loaded from the boot disk can be a primary partition on the boot disk. We'll just go next without putting a check mark there? No. It's not giving us, it's not, I guess it's not seeing an active partition. This is a window for selecting active partitions. So which of the partitions do we want to be active? But it's not showing us the current drive. Click back again, please. I said please, I want that on record. Disk 1,
Witnesses.
that's clearly showing the right thing. Now, when you click, when you try to click on this listing at the top, does it highlight?
No.
No, that doesn't even unhighlight the version. It shows same version. Each Windows should be listed here. The description column represents the name that will appear in the Windows bootloader menu. You can change it. So this is seeing a Windows operating system there.
What is this boot disk? A Windows PE boot disk that Macrium is using? Or is this Linux?
No. Well, it's Windows PE.
Okay, so isn't that potentially what it's seeing? Is itself? I mean,
Well, if I had chosen the restore option to do a remote uninstall, I often do that, but we haven't done that option. Now this FAT32, well, we did 1 terabyte partition, so that's not.
well, this is the SanDisk. That's why. That's a 16 gig flash drive.
Oh, go back again then. Does this one? This doesn't say FAT32 there.
This does say 7.28 terabytes up here.
For the disk, but then it's showing us the partitions on that disk. It's not showing us the size of that. Oh, you did search that time, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's better. That's
It's the
better.
same thing. Nothing's changed.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's right. Nothing's changed. So this isn't fixing the problem. What would that add? Go back again. Click on this guy. And then add. And Windows 8 or Windows B? It says Windows B, that's not 8. Path to Windows installation, version 11, change that. and then put in a C:\\Windows here. And OK. Click on this one. No, the next one. And then next. Now it's back to the SanDisk. So no, that didn't help. It didn't feel like that was going to do it. So we're in Macrium Reflect. How about we do a restore without doing that redeploy thing?
Oh, that's
No, you just redid the same thing. That's not what we want. Cancel that.
what if this could fix it?
With a maybe different option. Because what if something we did in here was wrong?
That's what I'm wondering.
All right. So NVMe Express controller. Which one did we choose the first time around?
Same thing.
So if you're going to do the same thing again, expecting different results.
I changed the BIOS to AHCI mode by default rather than other OS when it wanted.
Oh,
I wondered
okay.
If it might detect it differently. So
Oh, yeah.
slight difference there.
All right. Yeah, no, that's fair.
We're
That's
not going to
fair.
make it any worse.
Yeah.
And I just thought, for a quick reboot, let's just see
Yeah.
what it does.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah.
But barring that, then we'll just do another restore again.
So you changed the BIOS to AHCI
Well, it says
from.
what type of OS are you booting from, and it was set to other. And I think it was set to other because we were playing around with RAID. Mitch and I were playing around with RAID.
Oh.
So, but that was a while ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter going back from RAID. Yeah, see, it's still not booting.
No.
Okay, well, we'll put this back in. Riveting video. That's all we do here. It's keep people at the edge of their seat.
They cloned the drive,
So-
Macrium not seeing the first partition of the GPT drive. Macrium's not seeing it? I still say Macrium failed to apply something that scrolled off. Yes, the boot mode has to be changed when cloning. Okay, boot to command and disk part set disk active.
Well,
We should have been able to do that.
that's what it sounds like. Like it
Yeah,
didn't see
it
an
seems
active
like we should have been able to. It was at a place where it was giving us the opportunity to set the active partition. At that point, it wasn't giving us that drive.
I would be curious if we restore the image we made,
Oh,
if that will boot.
that's a quick, easy thing to
That's what
try.
I'm thinking. I'm trying to,
It does a troubleshooting step.
so we can undo what we did.
Yeah.
See, you taught me so well, I don't even need to follow the instructions.
Because it's such an easy program to learn.
No, because hold on, the reason.
You're stammering. You're stammering again.
You've cleared the ambiguity of the superfluous options and choices that are required to be made manually when I'm accustomed to them being made automatically.
Did you see the diversionary tactic he used there?
Squirrel! I don't know what you're talking about. How do I do a restore? That's redeploy. Where's just a regular restore?
Are you on the restore tab?
Yes.
These, get out of the menu.
Redeploy, okay.
Get out of the menu. This is backups. This
Nice.
is restoring. So right here, existing backups. Yeah.
It won't let me click it.
Okay, that's probably because you're on it. So go to browse for an image file.
So confusing. Thank goodness you're here to show me how to use this very, very
Yeah, because
Try this
browse for an
9.
image file is so difficult to understand.
Well,
But, it's damn. Oh, we don't have that drive
oh,
plugged
that's
in.
right. We need the other drive.
They were yelling at us in the chat room about that.
That's not
So then you'll have to do a
See, my Acronis
refresh.
disk has a
Shut up.
one flash drive. And I just throw the images on a partition.
Yeah. So cancel that because you're going to have to refresh on the view menu, I think it is. And there's also a refresh somewhere else, but I usually go
Shade
there.
it out.
How would
about
that
here?
be? Yeah. Yeah, so there's... See, the real estate, this could be full up if there were more restore points, more restore files on there. Where you are, select the image file. Where is it? 14 gigabytes. Looks like D.
No, that's the partition you made. 1024 gigs.
But this is 1 terabyte.
See, this is the file. It's just not bootable.
All right.
Oh, let's refresh again. We're not seeing
Oh, these are showing F. There's F Macrium.
We don't have
F down, but that's 14. That's not it. Seems like it's confused between those two. Yeah, we're still not seeing this. Oh, I didn't push the power button.
Oh yeah, that's got a power button on it.
And a refresh. Did you get that refresh? And then there it is, Macrium Fabs. No, did you want to try restoring the original?
Yeah, that's what
But
I
that
picked, right?
was it? No, I think you did mine, didn't
No.
you?
Is that BBB FreshWin 10 Pro?
Oh, okay, okay.
Now what do? I selected it. Now how do I restore it?
Click on that button that says restore. I know that's hard to
Even though I
figure it
already
out.
told it to restore? Okay. And then that shows yeah, that's right. Next.
And finish.
Oh, I see.
You didn't have to tinker around with the individual partitions.
Right.
And then checkbox, continue.
See how fast this is. It's only 13 gigs. It started right at 415 and 00
All right,
by the time the progress meter started to move, not
All
from
right.
the time I hit finish. All right, that'll take about 5 minutes. Now, we normally stop at 5. We've got about 45 minutes if we're going to stop, and I'm getting a little hungry. Did you eat today? You getting peckish?
me?
Yeah,
I had breakfast,
that was a while ago then, huh?
but I ate more breakfast than I usually do. Some
Did you drink your breakfast
Okay.
today, Mitch?
Blue moon always. No, I had a hard-boiled egg before I came over.
Ah, and nuts? Or just the egg?
Just the egg.
Okay, so Tim, too much. You have to change legacy to UEFI or UEFI to legacy.
Michael Dane says, poor Mitch is caught in the middle of this. Come on, Mitch, how do we fix this?
I just
Should we
graduated from the
start-
3rd grade. What do I? What do I know?
It is the backup of Carrie's install. Yes, that's what we are intending to restore, is the backup of Carrie's install. Doug tries to show that he knows what. There's a test afterward.
Because Ison says, think of Mitch when you and Doug fight in front of him. If there's no blood, there's no fight.
No,
It's
yeah,
just
that's,
a friendly hockey game.
yeah. Okay. Sets
Mitch is staying out. Smart man.
CSM to enable.
Not smart. All this is Greek to me. They're talking language that's way above my head. So,
Okay, so Draco, why is this better than just reinstalling Windows? Well, my image has all the software that I want that is working well for me on my current computer. So if I reinstall Windows and then have to reinstall all my programs, that's a lot of work. So ideally, I just want to be able to restore my C drive. Drug try to restore from his current streaming PC, yeah. Has this system been running enough to have restore points? No, this is the brand new, the Big Beast build. So it hasn't been running yet. I'd like to see a successful restore, different content than the usual Windows install. Meandering Man at 70, that's my brother Stan. He is here. He gives us a thumbs up. I guess that means he clicked thumbs up, not so much that he's impressed with our progress thus far.
It was a typo.
yeah.
Oh, the thumb up is a typo.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right. Hello, Stan. Yeah, I was out hanging out.
Meandering Man?
Meandering Man at 70, yeah.
Oh, he should be a moderator.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Stan, I think you're about to get promoted.
To the blue crew.
Well, that's not everybody would agree.
Yeah.
That is a promotion, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It might be just that you're tagged.
Yeah.
I did have one person say, please no,
Oh, yeah.
at a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what's up with that, but. Tony, I respect the both of the techs. Nobody thinks alike. They do get the job done in their own ways. I enjoy the idea that line up 12 techs, ask them a question, you're going to get 12 different answers.
Yeah, I don't. I think
There's
people
no-
might misinterpret the exchange of ideas as
Yeah.
being an argument.
Yeah,
And there's a difference between arguing and exchanging ideas. I realize that sometimes it takes another set of eyes to see something right in front of you.
yeah,
Other times, it's all just a bunch of BS. So you got to hear people out. And
Well, there's something that's on my channel, my relationship with my chat room is they mostly come from different experience points of view than I come from, and we're often dealing with problems that I'm not dealing with among my business clients. So there's a lot of time they come up with answers that, but before I do.
I think when I was younger, I was more concerned about impressing somebody to prove my worthiness.
Right.
Now I don't really care.
No, and I kind of feel more that I'm making an impression when I'm very open to being wrong
Sure.
and learning something new. Blackwatch, I just contributed $5,000, but you were not there to accept it, so I now have it back.
You just had to pay the taxes on it. Would have been right in the mail.
Right.
I'm a millionaire, according to the prince in Nigeria that I heard from the
All
other day.
right.
Was that 5,000 in Bitcoin?
I wish.
Doge?
That you can keep.
Yeah. What's the other one? There's like 3 or 4 other ones.
Doesn't the
Oh,
thumb
there's thousands.
Thousands.
Yeah.
doesn't the thumb symbol mean to sit and spin? I
They
can
must speak a different language than you.
well, I can sit and spin in my show because I'm seated.
And the chair
You
swivels.
stand all the time. Well, it
How's your,
should.
how's your feet? Oh, no, there. You're doing this camera.
You see me doing this back and
Yeah, I see you
forth
leaning.
bit. Yeah, and holding myself up.
Well, you notice we have that pad over there behind the.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
supposed
which-
to help?
Oh,
You didn't notice it was better?
makes a big difference.
It's nice
You're
and
you're done.
cushiony.
I think
You're
I'd
done.
have to compare over
Okay.
multiple experiences.
I didn't know that's what you were referring to. I thought you meant just
Carry
in
it.
general.
Oh, we're
I
done.
think Macrium failed to apply the boot flag to the partition during the clone.
Who
It
knows?
seems like something along those
Why would that
lines,
be an
but not
option?
quite right.
Why would that be an option?
Yeah, I don't think it's
I
an,
want to
an
clone this,
option.
but ignore the bootable part of it. Like,
Oh.
if you had the bootable part and you weren't using it, that should be all we need, right? Now just close it out.
Yeah. Because we're not going to, this is your original image.
Right.
So we want to be sure that that will still work. And we haven't even touched those fan controllers.
No, I'm not worried about that. I think I've got the right controllers. I think
All right.
it's just plugging it in and doing cable management, I'm pretty sure.
Famous last words.
Look at that.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So it's not Macrium. That's the good news.
All right.
I just keep digging at you with this Macrium. So it's not Macrium, it's you. So either way, I'm going to poke.
And then could there be, I didn't do the verify thing when I created the image either.
Well, but it didn't have a problem reading the image.
No?
So we're good here. Let's go ahead and shut her back. Shut her down. So that's fine. We'll boot one more time into Macrium. How'd they get that name, Macrium? Do you know the story behind it?
No idea.
Now we're going to have to
F.
put a boot button here.
And if there's any Dougs in the chat room, they'll go research that. But my use of the word Doug there as a descriptor is something people don't understand what I mean by that.
You totally dug that.
There is,
Don't be a Doug.
I do, that's a really valid statement. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Audible.com has a book called Grand Theft Astro. Not Grand Theft Auto, but Astro. So it's set in a futuristic world where humans live on multiple planets, and there's what do you call it when the heroine of a book, the star,
Drugs?
huh?
Heroin?
The
Meth?
hero, the female hero
Oh,
in a book. There's some kind of word for that.
protagonist?
Protagonist, there you go. Is a female high-end thief. She doesn't have
Well, she's a heroine, of course
she doesn't have supernatural powers. I'm trying to tell a story here.
Well, she's Batman.
Shut up.
She's Catwoman.
But she has gadgets like
Catwoman.
007 gadgets or Batman, and she does these high-end thefts. Well, I was getting into a few chapters of this, and there was something that kept coming up, and I couldn't quite understand the word that she was using. I finally found out when she wanted to ridicule somebody, ridicule a whole class of people or an individual. Oh, they're such a Doug. They're a bunch of Dougs.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe this was just coming out of the blue on me. What
didn't?
is this?
You never saw Guardians of the Galaxy? No, sorry, it was Thor. What was the third? Not Ragnarok. What was the third Thor movie? Was it Ragnarok? And they have this guy made of rocks.
Made of rocks?
He is an alien.
Oh, made of rocks.
He's all rocks.
Okay.
And Thor's he introduces himself to Thor, and he's like, "What are you going to do?" And Thor says, "I'm going to battle the Grand Champion." And he said, "Oh, that's what Doug said." And he goes, "Who's Doug?" "Oh, Doug's dead. He tried battling the Grand Champion. Your name's going to be New Doug."
Oh.
So he's like, "Go,
All right.
New Doug."
No, now did that catch on to be?
It was just a funny line.
That was just a line
Yeah.
in one movie. Well,
He says it a couple times. He refers to.
okay. Well, this is used in every chapter over and over, and I call it an affectionate term of ridicule. So if you want to dig on somebody for any characteristic, you're such a Doug, and I totally embrace that.
You're just gonna
I
accept
totally
it.
embrace that.
It's just easier, isn't it?
Yep, it's easier to accept it than argue it.
So what if we just leave all the partitions alone this time?
Yeah, sure. Just do restore and let it do it however it wants. You gotta select a disk to restore to, don't you? Well, the next button was available.
Yeah, it would have told me. It would have made.
Oh, it would have told you. Yeah, it would
Would
have
have
told you.
made me
That's
click.
right. So is that it? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, because it already does have content.
Right.
So if you just click next, it'll automatically copy those partitions in whatever fashion it chooses, which is not going to expand that C drive, which is fine.
This is all a sense of deja vu.
Yeah, it
Deja
was
vu.
so easy for you to do it.
Well, we're at
Yeah,
420.
just-
you only had
you
to
just
correct me
click,
3
click, click,
times
click.
on my 4th attempt. That's
We're-
how intuitive it is.
We're at 427, so we'll see how long it takes.
Mitch is the referee here.
Yeah.
They're gonna get you a white and black striped shirt and a whistle.
Oh,
Hey, it doesn't work, but it looks good, so.
leave the lights on. Isn't that a Motel 6
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Guess where I stayed last night?
Big bucks.
Actual Motel 6.
The Ritz.
I didn't even know they're still
The
around.
Ritz 6,
Actual Motel 6.
not the Super
I saw
8.
that. I said, well, actually, I was pulling off to the Super 8. They were closed for remodeling when I
I
pulled
could
into
have
it.
punched you in the stomach and threw you in the ditch. Would have done that for free. It's almost the same thing.
Did you like Blythe? I spent a week there one day.
Motel 6.
Six.
Wow.
They hand you a bug sprayer?
No, they stole his towels.
Towels. Okay.
All right, what are we missing in the chat here?
Uh,
How about Dougie? You get called Dougie?
yeah. I have a client who calls me Dougie Fresh.
Dougie.
When I go into their office, Dougie Fresh.
You say, who was that? Dougie. Oh, there was that comedian, Dougie Doug.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that guy, Dougie Doug? He was on a TV show called, I don't know, I have to Google it. Doug E. Doug. I used to see that name fly by the credits. Stand-up comedian, and he was in a show called Hanging. No, that's not it.
Films or
Cool
TV?
Runnings. Oh, he was in Cool Runnings. These are all the movies he was in. Eight-Legged Freaks. It was a TV show, as I recall. Oh, Cosby. He was in Cosby.
Oh,
Yeah, he was part of the main cast. He was Griffin Vesey.
Vesey?
Yeah, so when I watched the Cosby Show, he's been in Blue Buds. It's got to be a stage name, right? Nobody would name their kid Doug if their last name was Doug, would they?
No.
Ask Armie Hammer. The Three Amigos.
I knew a guy whose legal name was William Williams. So he kind of went by Bill Williams, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm like, William Williams? Yeah.
My neighbor was Dick Dickey. His name was Richard. Do you think he would
Yeah,
say,
Richard.
call me Richard?
Richard.
Or Rich? No, Dick. Dick Dickey. Imagine you're dating him and you've got to introduce him to your parents.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to go well.
Oh, yeah.
There's a radio DJ name. You know.
Cosby and Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Deputy Doug Nabbit.
So you think this will work, guys? I don't, but do you guys?
No, I don't think it's going to work. I think because, and there was a sharp eye in the chat who pointed out the 3 partitions versus 4, which,
Yeah.
which would make it technically unbootable. But you would think that the auto boot feature would fix that, but it only
Yeah.
seems to be fixing the driver, not the controller driver, not the UEFI driver. That's interesting, and it may require that we have to turn CSM on, which may fix it. However, by moving around those partitions, it's possible, because I don't know, this is the most I've really gotten into Macrium for a couple of years. I was trying to have an open mind to compare it against Acronis and pick the better of the tools. And the first thing I noticed was Macrium was like 75 or 80 bucks, whereas Acronis was like 35, 40 bucks. So it was twice the price. Did you pay for Macrium, or did they
Yeah.
send it to you for a review or something?
No, I paid for it.
What did you pay?
I have no idea.
Must be nice. I bet you could have stayed at a Motel 6 for the amount of money you paid for Macrium.
Or Motel 7 for sure.
Upgrade.
Upgrade.
Well, I did.
Motel 11.
Yeah.
I wanted a parking stall near the room, They said, well, the only way we have that is with doubles, and she had this frightened look on her face, like, he's not going to want to spend the extra money. I said, well, how much is it? And she told me the price. And, okay, go ahead. It's still less than what I thought I was going to pay for a room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should see the price of gas and
If
light.
the original image was done in legacy mode, you need to go in the BIOS to enable CSM. That sounds pretty likely, Jim.
Well, we're going to try that this time around, leaving everything alone. And then you can resize the partitions later.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim, for your comments. We'll have to check that out. It would be nice if Macrium made some sort of acknowledgement or warning of checking the BIOS state versus the... I'm just saying, it would be nice.
Yeah, I
If
agree.
they could just see
No, I
what mode
agree.
the BIOS is in.
I agree.
I mean, I don't know that a Cronus does, to be honest.
Yeah.
But this is an unusual circumstance.
And if you had asked me when I came in with those drives, was my computer in legacy mode or UEFI mode, I would have said UEFI mode.
You'd think, right?
But now,
Sometimes-
it could be in UEFI mode with some kind of a legacy support turned on, right?
No.
Isn't that what was being suggested here, is to turn on that
It's one of the-
CSM?
You can be in legacy mode, have legacy compatibility. Normally, they're not mutually exclusive. So basically, it can say boot priority is UEFI first, and then legacy second. Meaning, if your hard drive was in UEFI, but you're putting a bootable flash drive in, that's not.
That's legacy,
Then
okay,
It wouldn't boot to it if you didn't
Okay.
have legacy support turned on.
okay,
Right, if it was UEFI only, and that's a security thing as well. So you can have both, and you boot one to the other. Just because you turn legacy on doesn't necessarily mean UEFI is disabled.
yeah, okay,
It depends
well,
on the motherboard BIOS too.
well, I think that's a yes answer to my question then, that yes, we could, or my computer might be in UEFI mode, but have CSM enabled.
You still should be booting to, you should still have 4 partitions in UEFI. And you can check
If
that
it's-
with MS Info 32. You can look and see what mode the system is booted in. I've built brand new systems, and you can often tell from the logo, like the startup logo gets really small and refined on UEFI mode.
Okay.
Like on the Gigabyte boards.
All right,
And sometimes I'm not paying attention, and the chat room will say, that looks like you're in legacy. And it's a brand new system.
yeah,
And I look at it and I'm like, so what happened was, in fact, I dealt with this with the Cronus. If you boot a Cronus in UEFI mode, then it clones in UEFI mode. And if you boot a Cronus in legacy mode, it clones in legacy mode. So I always make sure I have a UEFI bootable Acronis to copy UEFI drives. You've never run into
so,
this?
in a minor way, and I never studied it to a level of understanding, but I have had where I'm booting to, I select boot device, whatever function key the computer is that I have, and then sometimes I only see a list of UEFI devices, and sometimes there's legacy devices and UEFI devices, and even a Macrium thumb drive can show in both sides. It could boot either in legacy mode or in UEFI mode. So when we booted to this thumb drive for Macrium, we didn't select. It just automatically went in. So that automatically went
I
in.
selected it this last time because otherwise it would have booted to the Windows install. And it only gave me one option. It didn't offer me.
It didn't offer you legacy mode because the CSM isn't turned on? If CSM was turned on, would it be showing legacy mode as an alternative?
Yeah, you might have a point there. Maybe.
And if we booted it in legacy mode, could we then get a successful restore?
Well, either way, we're still solving the same problem with the same solution regardless. It's still turning CSM on.
Okay.
Trevor says he's got 3 partitions on UEFI mode on your system now. If you go to MS Info 32, and then look under the BIOS, in the list you'll see the word BIOS, and then in verify it says UEFI. You might think you're in UEFI and you're not. I don't think you can have UEFI with 3 partitions. I could be wrong, I've never seen it that way before.
Well, if UEFI mode is turned on, that's a mode of BIOS, isn't it?
It's a
And
replacement, one might say.
it can support, at CSM is compatibility support mode.
Backward support, yeah.
Okay, so you could boot to a legacy device, which would imply to me that if your boot drive is actually installed as a legacy device, your UEFI mode, I mean your BIOS could be in UEFI mode with CSM on,
Correct.
and you could be booting
Yes.
your hard drive
Yes,
to legacy, and you're assuming that you are booting UEFI because you're in UEFI
Correct.
mode BIOS.
that's why MS
And
Info
it's a
32
misunderstanding.
is a nice little utility to look at. It's
Now-
built into Windows.
Yeah, now that'll show that your BIOS is UEFI,
Or
but does
not.
that tell that your boot drive is formatted as UEFI versus legacy?
Oh my God, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Oh, that's maddening. Okay, we'll click OK. What is this? Can't read it.
I think that's a close.
Okay.
So we're not going to do, this was my image, yeah. So now we're not doing the dissimilar hardware thing.
No, it's just a straight clone.
I'm thinking it's not going to boot if my notion about,
So you're
Wait,
saying-
do we have CSM
Let's
enabled?
No.
We don't have it, so I'm
So you're
saying
saying
no.
it's not going to boot.
Yeah.
I'm saying it is going to boot. What do you say, Mitch?
I'd like to give both of you the boot.
Take a number.
Take a number.
I think it's going to boot.
Evidence Savant says he just subscribed to my channel. Thank you, Evidence
I was
Savant.
wrong.
You were wrong.
It happened once.
Aha!
It happened once.
Turned on all notifications. Do I get a signing bonus? You can get double the signing bonuses that I have given to prior people.
Wow, that's very generous.
Yeah. Of course, you know what that means. James Hook Sherwill, good afternoon. Seabrow, haha. Well stated, Mitch, from Gary Boyd.
And that was right off the cuff, too.
Ida.
UEFI and legacy on boot mode now.
Okay.
Oh, wasn't paying attention, so you did change that. All right.
Let's see if that boots.
And also Ida Rivera, nice to Mitch Morrison, nice answer, LOL. Kenny Whitten, great answer, Mitch.
Iowa Hank thinks it might be an MBR partition versus a GPT. You can't have an 8 terabyte drive with an MBR partition. It ain't gonna work.
Ooh, look at that.
That's not good.
That's not.
Oh,
Reboot,
could be a
select
problem.
proper boot device. Insert boot media in selected boot device.
Now back on it again.
Now that makes me think
I just
that,
want to make sure the video card's okay. That freaks me out when it does that.
yeah, that exclamation for you too was the video card symptom.
Considering that motherboard was $700.
More than that.
Yeah.
750 plus tax. Another
Yoy.
75, so 8 and a quarter.
Jeez.
Tim Too Much is with me. It should boot now.
We shall see.
Jose Del Nido says Doug with an exclamation mark.
This
Is
is
he using my
concerning
name?
what this video card's doing now. And that started happening since we turned on CSM. This is not a CSM issue. If this is in MBR mode, you can't go bigger than 2 terabytes on a bootable drive in MBR. It's got to be GPT. It has to be.
Well, we didn't try to go bigger than 2 terabytes. both of the Macrium Reflect attempts were going to use just 1 terabyte. We never did try it with taking up the entire space. Now, I'm interested at this point to try that Macrium Reflect fixed boot problems, because we did get a different response this time. We got an actual message about the boot device rather than going straight to BIOS.
I am concerned with this graphics card is doing. I want to turn CSM off and see if that fixes the graphics card issue. In fact, we can change it to just auto. See if that makes a difference.
Gary, check your something on that
Your
background.
mic, because they don't realize I'm not wearing one,
Oh,
because they weren't here.
all right. Yeah, Gary's not wearing a microphone. Dud, AJ Haverkamp, Dud Doug ever make the backups he makes, ever tested a restore? Yeah, actually, and recently I did. And it worked.
We might have to boot to a Windows 10 media and then do a repair of the drive that way.
Let's see, what are you went back into BIOS.
I set CSM to
Oh.
auto.
Oh,
which
you're
is-
trying to fix
but
that.
CSM enabled or disabled isn't fixing it.
Oh, you still had the problem.
So I think, so we know that the original partition, the original clone works fine.
Well,
Your clone, your image, may have an incompatibility that might need to be resolved through like a bootable Windows media tool that we can go in and reboot the boot sectors or change it from MBR to GPT. Something is different.
at the point that we were getting that screen, would it have been trying to load a Windows display driver? Which that drive doesn't have yet for this
We're not
card?
even booting. We can't get to a display driver until we get to an operating system that can load a driver.
That's true. Well, okay, then how can you say that it has anything to do with the image that's on the drive?
Because
that
the image
video-
you and I made together works fine. The image you made and I wasn't there, and I don't know the settings under which that image was made, may require some manipulation to boot to a more advanced system like this. How old was the machine that you created the image on?
Well, that was a 2012 machine. It's in my car.
It's a 10-year-old.
I did bring it.
Oh, you brought the computer?
I brought the
So
computer.
we can make a new image.
Well, we could.
Okay, maybe we'll
Yeah.
do that later off camera.
All right.
Because we're running out of time. We got
Yeah.
about 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're out of time.
And we got to eat. And I
Yeah.
think that'll help us think
All
clearly.
right.
At least me. I can't speak for you, but. And then I can actually get to the RGB.
Well, there's a whole lot of ways that we could go about troubleshooting. We could try restoring my image to the second motherboard.
If it's a 10-year-old computer, we're probably still going to have the same problem.
Well, that would be a troubleshooting step to determine that, if we had the same problem with this
Granted.
motherboard.
But the argument they're making in the chat room, and I think I'll speak on their behalf here, when they said, why are you doing this rather than installing anything? You said because installing everything would take forever.
Well, not forever, but it'd be a pain in
They're
the...
saying it would take longer than this, but this is, the argument is that
Yeah.
isn't this taking longer than just reinstalling it?
But I didn't know that this was going to
Exactly.
take longer.
That's the key.
That's
the
a key.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like when I said with my cloning tool, when I did the laptop, I said the cloning tool will take longer than using Acronis. But then I ran
Yeah.
into all those obstacles because the
Oh, right.
Acronis wasn't working, because it's not a perfect tool either.
And,
That's it.
and I've had lots of times when I bring a client's computer into my lab intending to do a certain procedure to deal with a problem, and I, because of my nature and probably yours too, I keep trying to resolve the problem
Easy.
the right way. No, not easiest, not necessarily quickest. I want to resolve the actual problem rather than doing a nuke and pave.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
you don't learn anything if you're going to reinstall.
Right.
No, but if you're a viewer, right, and you're watching this and you don't have that technical mindset, and you're like, well, why don't they just reinstall everything? That would have taken less time, or this is taking less. But they're saying that in hindsight,
All right.
right?
We didn't know
you
that.
could say that. You could trip, fall, and someone goes, "Oh, watch your step."
Yeah.
That's effectively what they're doing.
Why didn't you watch your step?
Adam Sandler. I could have used that information yesterday. But just like I said, with Acronis, the Acronis software is faster than the hard drive dock cloning. But it wasn't in that circumstance. And I didn't know that until I was in that circumstance. All right, guys. Any final questions for us? We're going to wrap it up for this evening. How long are you in town for, Doug?
Yeah, I'm planning to go back Sunday.
All right, we got another
Sunday
day. We have
morning.
plenty of time.
Yeah. I told him last week that this Saturday, would be from Studio B. Of course, I didn't tell him who's Studio B.
Where'd you get that idea for naming a studio Studio B?
I have no idea. It came to me from a birdie.
I want to go to Studio 53.
B.
Michelle says, hello from Paris, France. To make Acronis Windows PE USB is the same procedure of the standard Acronis USB. You just go through the media creation tool from Acronis and follow the on-screen steps, and welcome in from Patty. What is Doug's favorite British TV show? Do you watch British TV?
No.
Just stick with Benny Hill then.
I could have come up with that name. I think I've watched it maybe 2 or 3 times.
Sure, we believe you. Mitch, tell us about Toto.
Well, I'm disappointed because I was all set to see them February 28th in Tucson, Arizona, and they didn't cancel, they postponed. So they're going to be here in Phoenix April 12th, but it's at a big football stadium, and they're opening for Journey, and I've seen, Journey, and I've seen Toto, of course, 49 times, but this was going to be lucky 50, so they said just hold on to your tickets because they'll reschedule it, and I'll just have to wait, to see the boys again. Maybe by then they'll offer the meet and greet tickets so I can say hello and they can go, not you again. How many Toto shirts do you have? 44. Oh no, Carrie, I ordered one. I couldn't help myself.
Wait, there's one you didn't already have?
Right, so
Probably just made it just to make money.
yeah, Lucky 45 is coming next week. So with any luck, I will debut a new Toto shirt.
That's something to look forward to, everybody.
Yeah.
Doug's links in description or pinned comment.
What?
Can we pin my channel name at the top for the remainder of the time until you close?
Say again?
Put in my channel name in chat and pin it to the top.
Oh, in the chat. You can't pin
That was a
comments
request.
in chat, can you?
Yeah,
You can?
yeah. Sure.
I know I can pin comments, but I didn't know I could pin chat comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just go down.
Yeah.
You mean Doug knows
Down the
something you
chat.
don't?
Oh, he knows a lot I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just not interested.
Okay, yeah, okay.
That's the difference.
Okay, yeah.
youtube.com /
Wait a minute, I'm doing something wrong. Wrong keyboard.
youtube.com / LWTDB, which is the acronym for my channel, Live Windows Training Doug Betts. So then press enter, then click on your 3-dot thing out here. It should be where it is.
What am I doing to myself?
Too many mice.
And
It's
pin
been there
message.
the whole time.
Puts it right up at the top.
It is?
Yeah,
Where
scroll
is
to the top. Well, I think you have to change, no, top chat should be there. Why didn't it show up there? There it is.
Oh,
Just
it's
took a
little
moment.
delay.
So that just sticks on top.
Well, I'll be using that from now on to promote everything I want to sell.
Yeah.
Mitch is stirring the pot.
I wish I was on pot, right?
Well, the fact that you said on pot
Yeah.
suggests to me you have no idea.
Right. That I've never even,
It's like,
yeah,
I like Pink Floyd. They really rock.
that I,
Nobody who ever listened
well,
to
you
Pink
know,
Floyd.
can I
thinks
help
they
it if
rock.
can I help it if I've never even had a puff?
Yeah, we believe you. Those gummy bears are edible. I know. Who is this Doug Betts character, anywho? That's the mystery.
Right.
Yeah, that's from Blackwatch. He's regular on my channel. He's just
Yeah.
helping promote. Doug, did you work on a major manufacturer such as Intel, AMD? If
Oh,
so,
he
how
needs
was
work for.
experience? No, I
Worked
did
for-
not work for a major manufacturer. I've never worked for a really large company. Always small companies or myself.
Brandon says, hello from Mason, Michigan. It's currently 23 degrees.
You've led a sheltered life, Mitch. Yeah, I was kept in one as a kid, but we won't go there.
Yeah.
But that's okay. The butler took good care of him.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Spiffington, yeah.
Well,
All
gentlemen,
Do it to it.
Let's blow.
I mean, I had the system ready for you.
Oh, you did not.
I'm just saying, this isn't
Okay.
on me.
Yeah, all right.
But we'll figure it out. I enjoy a challenge. However, we do have a clock ticking for that. So
Well, I think
we'll-
attention should be turned towards finishing up the
Yeah, 'cause
fan
you're
and
gonna do
cable
this.
management.
Right.
The part about restoring my image, I'll get that on video so that the people who are interested can see what the resolution was for it. And I have absolutely no hesitation to handling that myself.
Of course.
So
The idea was that was supposed to go as
quick
expected.
and easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Since we were here.
Yes.
Be like an hour, and then we'd be on our way.
Right.
But that's how it was with my laptop upgrade. That was the 6-hour live stream. So
Yeah, that's your-
how it always starts.
Yeah, that's your motto, quick and easy.
Yeah.
What's a motto? I don't know. What's a motto with
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for
hanging with us today?
Yes.
The
thank you.
three amigos, yeah.
Let me go full screen,
Screen.
back over here. There we are. Mitch,
Oh,
you
hi.
can barely see Mitch. There we are, the three-headed beast. All right, guys. So what we're going to do after we eat, I will come back tonight, and I will work on the RGB connections, and assuming that all works okay, I'll start doing the cable management. As for playing around with Macrium, I don't think I have time. I don't like letting anything go. I'm like a bulldog. I get my teeth in it, I want to figure it out, but I don't have the luxury of time because I don't want to hold up Doug. He's more than capable. He doesn't need me to do this. I'm not accustomed to customers that they wouldn't come to me if they could do it themselves. So this is a weird circumstance for me to be in, and it's very difficult for me to not fix that. But it could take me days to figure it out. And every day he's here is costing him money. So
And I'm not coming back again.
never.
Well, I'm not going to say never, but
Like I said,
I don't want to come
warn
back.
you.
I don't want to come back in a few weeks.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, don't come back in August though, for your own sake.
Bad time.
Yeah.
How hot does it get? in
This
Fresno?
was a good time, and this was partly, I guess, waiting till February was less cold than December, January.
I don't know. What would you say? It was very rainy this December.
Oh.
Very rainy. That was very
All
weird.
right.
We might get some more rain here. But no, the weather's been a little warmer now. It was kind of cold. what's our temp right now? 67 when we checked it in the beginning. 71.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. It was fun. I really enjoyed having you here, Doug. I'm so glad you came out, and more fun times ahead when the camera's off.
Yeah. Looking
What
forward to
they
that.
won't know won't hurt them. Zvi wants us to convert the disk to GPT with disk part. Yeah, well, that's what I say. If I had a Windows 10 medial installation, we could mess around with it. It's not that important. Doug will figure it out. It's really not a big deal. It's one thing when you're sitting at home messing around with stuff. It's another thing when you're live on YouTube with a bunch of eyeballs looking over your shoulder, making a million suggestions. That's trying sometimes. So our main concern is to make sure that I have a workable machine. Not that Doug couldn't fix it, but it's brand new and there's an amount of pride that I have. And I don't want Doug to have to fix it. So,
Well, it actually is a working machine, just restoring your.
no, that's what I'm
Image.
saying. That's my
Yeah.
primary concern.
It
is
goes
that it's
away with
functional
that.
the way I built it.
Yeah.
And what you do with it's on you.
Yeah, sure.
But I thought it was a great opportunity. Thank you for showing me the ins and outs of Macrium. I feel a little more confident if I encounter it or if I want to play with it. I don't like that Acronis has gotten into the antivirus.
Yeah.
That really, really bothers me. I wish they made a version of Acronis without the antivirus. I mean, after all, they got made to be who they are based on their cloning software, and now they're making it secondary, and their primary is security, so they can charge a subscription for virus updates, antivirus updates.
Yeah, now the other thing that worth mentioning is that Macrium Reflect does still have a free version.
True.
And even for business, it's not just for personal. And the limitations are, let's see, it does do scheduled backups, the free version. I'm not using the free version, so I gotta be careful about what I say. The paid version will send email notifications, and let's see, I think the part about restoring to dissimilar hardware is only the paid version, but it really does do quite a lot with the free version.
When I used it, I thought it was really, really slow, but it wasn't slow today. So it might have just been an older version, but compared
Yeah.
to Acronis when I tested it, it was 3 or 4 years ago. I felt like it was painfully slow.
Was that like slow in loading and clicking through screens, or in
No,
actually performing an operation?
And doing the backup and the restore seemed like it took
Alright.
5 times longer, like painfully slow.
All right.
So I don't know what was up with that, but just the whole process, just to get it going, I found frustrating and not clear. But clearly, I've heard from both sides. It does feel like a bit of a Coke and Pepsi argument to me,
Mm-hmm.
a Ford or Chevy argument. It's a capable tool, and we all have preferences.
Yeah.
And with Acronis going into the antivirus part, I'm looking for a replacement for them. But I
Yeah.
just don't feel like Macrium, even after today, it's underscoring why it's not the right replacement. But, if you really get to know something, you can work around its
Yeah.
idiosyncrasies.
It does everything that I need it to do, and my perspective has pretty much always been, I don't jump to a different wagon, train, cart, whatever you want to say, unless there's a reason to. If the current product is working for me, it's doing what I'm needing, I pretty much stay with what I know.
Well, so I'm half on board with you on that. On the one hand, I don't want to remain blind to a competitor that's got a better product, right? But if I don't have any motivation to betray my loyalty, it feels like a betrayal of loyalty to the product for no cause,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
But now Acronis is giving me
You have a cause. Yeah.
Now I do.
Yeah.
Whereas
Now you
before,
do. Sure.
I just wanted an open mind to see, am I in fact using the right tool for me?
Yeah.
And after testing Acronis versus Macrium 3-4 years ago, Acronis for me was far and away better. But look, if I put a meal in front of you
Mm-hmm.
and I say, you've got to try this, Doug, it's the best thing you'll ever eat, and you're like, that's nasty, how can you eat that?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm wrong. Doesn't
Yeah,
mean you're
sure.
wrong either,
Sure.
right? And that's what this amounts to, taste.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
I don't
I just fell into that, didn't I?
I just had to go somewhere with that. All right, we're going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for watching. Doug, thanks for coming out. Maybe if we have time, we'll do something tomorrow, but We may not.
All right.
We'll try and figure that out. In the meantime, our work is cut out for us. And appreciate the help in the chat room and the contributions from everybody. Peter Laycock, Tony Walla, all of you, thank you so much for your support. Mitch, thanks for, what did you do?
I was the referee.
Thanks for
He
laughing.
was wearing the microphone for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
being my microphone.
And
Joke of the day.
should I leave the light on for him?
You want to leave the light on?
Yeah. And we'll leave the light on for you.
I'm blind. All right, guys. What do I say?
What is it again? Something bye for now?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bye for
bye
now.
for now.
You gotta look at it when you say it.
Sell 3 later.